Woke up late, still made 100 bands by noon. Quick flip, you still praying for a breakout? Man, that dream's a tomb. You call it due for a bounce, I call it dumb as I'm short in that heavy, sending hopefuls to the muck. Margin max, double stacked, yeah, I trade with no regard. Risk management, it, I'm out here living large. Your portfolio a graveyard, all them plays deceased. While I'm cooking in the market like a chef with extra grease. 100 contracts deep, I'm feeling like a fucking queen. You setting stop losses, that's some peasant type of thing. Scalping ticks, taking licks, I don't hold, I execute. Pull it, you still read Investopedia? Man, you way too new. I'm printing, my fingers got ink. Your account in the red while I'm flooding the sink. Drip, you cry about a loss, I just double my bet. Whoops, you hedge like a bitch, I go all in, no sweat. Big lot, big risk, big bag, big flip. I don't do no safe plays, all my moves hit. Fast trades, quick hands, big gains, too slick. You been holding 2 years, I make that in a tick. Too easy. I see candles, I see racks, I see weak hands folding fast. I see margin, I see danger, I see profits when it crash. I don't do no buy and hold, I just run the fucking game. Run it. You still reading analyst notes, boy, that's lame. Oh, you bag holding AMC? That's a rough look. Y'all was in, I was out. That's the difference. Take a book. You still waiting for a squeeze? Man, that shit was last year. I've been printing non-stop. I see racks while you see tears. You talk risk? I max out. Whole account on one bet. If I lose, who cares? I just run that back. You trade scared, you trade slow. That's why you'll never win. I be flipping in the morning. By the night, I trade again. Put my whole net worth on a earnest play. If it miss, I reload, double down the same day. Your DD is some garbage, yeah, your thesis ain't it. I just follow price action, boy, that TA ain't I'm printing, my fingers got ink. Your account in the red while I'm flooding the sink. You cry about a loss, I just double my bet. Whoops, you hedge like a bitch, I go all in, no sweat. Big lot, big risk, big bag, big flip. I don't do no safe plays, all my moves hit. Fast trades, quick hands, big gains, too slick. You've been holding 2 years, I make that in a tick. Too easy.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother.
Welcome back to an early episode of the Matt Core Show, where we are here on a very, very scary Friday, January the 10th. And you might be thinking to yourself, Matt, why is it scary? It's not spooky Halloween season. I know that I still have the ghost up right there. Casper's hanging out with us, but that's not necessarily what's making it scary, is it? No, it's not. It's the fact that we have a very, very important, pivotal, non-farm employment report coming out. We're about to get the jobs number in a mere 9 minutes. And I happen to have a very, very large position on. Is this a smart play? No. But I wouldn't argue that any of you come here for smart plays. I think you come here to see if I'm truly the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. I've obviously retained the title. I've retained the crown for years now. And we're going to see if I'm going to be able to keep it for today. So non-farm, basically the unemployment report comes out at 8:30 a.m. ET. And what I want to do is break it down for you. Break down exactly what you're looking for. And then we're going to watch chaos ensue. Fingers crossed, they're going to bring our boy Rick Santilli on, and we're going to be able to listen to him and his breakdown. Then we're going to see what's happening between now and market open. I have some updates on some political drama, individual equity news, overall market, crypto, commodities. We're going to break it all down. Market's going to open. Casino's going to go dingity ding ding ding. And then we're really going to get rocking with some degenerate trades. And then from there, we're going to be giving away some prop accounts. Shout out to Vanquish. We're going to be giving away some cold hard cash. Yes, today is a Payday Friday. So if you haven't already, make sure you are getting all involved in that. Pin to the top of chat in the description of the video. Show Vanquish a little bit of love. Today's the last day of the code Goonie20 to get 20% off. It ends at midnight tonight. And then, like I said, we're giving away 3 of those accounts, and we're also giving away $150 of cold hard cash. That's going to be going down in about 2 hours at 10:30 a.m. So that's a little bit later on. Before then, we have degenerate trading. Before then, individual equity news. Before then, commodity and economy news. Before then, political drama news. Before then, probably a rant or two. And before then, we have the unemployment report. So that's exactly the show in reverse order, because I know that's exactly how you guys like to understand it every day, of what is the news, but in the opposite way. So that's exactly what I'm here for. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe on both Rumble and YouTube. It does help get this show out to other people. Obviously, that's all I ask of you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with a friend. It's always nice to get more and more people in here for the absolute degenerate party. And with that being said, let's get rocking. What's the headline right now? Oops, that's not the headline. This is the headline. Stock futures slide as Wall Street braces for Friday's jobs report. So right now in pre-market trading, we have the SPY slightly below its closing value on Friday. The Q slightly below the closing value. The Russell even more close to the closing value. So everything is once again in the red, but slightly in the red. In fact, in really late last night when I was watching Penn State get destroyed by Notre Dame, technically the points didn't show how bad it was, but it was a horrible game. Not a good day to be a Penn State fan. But anyway, late last night, it was actually way worse. And then you could see we kind of had this like recovery. So around 8 p.m., something like that, things were looking pretty dire. So in the event that this report is a bearish favoring report, obviously I'll be watching this low just to see we take that out. And then obviously if it's a bullish report, I'll be looking more at the 6 a.m. high. So I'm kind of right now in terms of the overnight early morning trading, I'm watching the 6 a.m. high for the bulls to take out, and I'm watching roughly the 7 p.m. low for the bears to take out on both the S&P 500 and also the Nasdaq. So yes, things are slightly red right now, but just to clarify, late last night, they were actually way more red, just to get that all out there. So why we're starting early today is because of this very, very incredibly important jobs report. Friday jobs report could present a mixed view of the labor market. So we know from the last FOMC meeting, which was circa December 18th, so roughly about a month ago, that in that meeting, we kind of got some, I guess, qualitative updates from Jerome Powell himself, telling us that, in fact, the labor market is soft, which for those of you who don't know what that means in the fancy, nerdy economic terms, means not bueno. Not bueno, mi amigo. So that's kind of concerning. And then since that commentary, we're now getting the first major report of, okay, how soft is soft? And there's a lot of conjecture that their summary of economic projections, basically the voting FOMC members, where they see unemployment going this calendar year, 2025, everyone's calling a bunch of baloney on it. They're like, nope, you definitely think it's going higher than what you're reporting. And the only reason you're underreporting it right now is to not cause a scare in the larger market. So there's a couple very important numbers that you got to pay attention to. Economists expect the Bureau of Labor Statistics to report a gain of 155,000. If you look at other sources, some are saying 164. So there's not really a large consensus on this, but you get the rough range. Somewhere between like 155 and 165 is the expectation. That's the forecast for the number we're about to get in 4 minutes. That is one key number. The other key number is the actual unemployment rate of 4.2%. And actually, there is consensus on that. Oh, well, actually, no. This one just moved up this morning to 4.3. Well, that's what Goldman Sachs is saying, but the median guess is 4.2. Right here, the unemployment rate is forecast to hold steady at 4.2. So Goldman is coming in a bit higher. So the first number you need to know is what is the actual non-farm payroll that's expected to be between 155 and 165. The rate is expected to be 4.2. Obviously, if we're above 4.2, not so good. But the other thing I want to throw out there is pay attention to the revision for last month. So last month, it came in at 227, and we've been in this trend of we're getting a number, and then months later, they revise it where it's actually ending up being worse. So that's probably the third number you want to be listening for. So first one, between 155, 165. Second one, is it 4.2%? Higher, lower, higher is worse. And then 227, how are we actually going to be revising that? Because like I said, the really recent run we've been on, every time we get a revision, it is in the bearish negative direction. So definitely that's what we're looking for, all coming out at 8:30. If unemployment is coming in high, jobs are coming in low, not a good situation, which could set up for some legitimate breakdowns. I think things get very bad on the SPY below 584. I think things get very bad for the Qs below about 508. I think things get very bad for the Russell below 218. So for the overall market, the tech sector and the small cap sector, we're seeing lower highs, we're seeing lower lows, and it's just the question of, are the recent lows going to snap and then set up for some potential longer term downside gap fills. The SPY, we're talking 576.74. The Qs, we're talking sub 593. And on the Russell, I don't believe there's a downside gap fill, but overall the trend has just not been a good one. Oh, actually, nope. There is a giant downside gap fill to 212.78. Now, obviously, this is all on the bearish side. On the flip side, in the bull case, if those numbers, if unemployment rate comes in low and things are trucking along, yeah, we're looking to take out basically Wednesday's high of 591. We're looking to take out Wednesday's high of about 517, and we're looking to take out Wednesday's high of 222, and then that could set up equal low and then like kind of a market structure bounce. So right here, that's the bull case, that's the bear case. I am personally coming in today with the bear case, but that's just because of how I've already been positioned in this situation. So I just want to get everyone ready for that. The report comes out in 45 seconds. So let me get everything ready so we can hear our boy Rick. Please in chat right now, let me know your vote. You have less than 30 seconds. Are you bullish or are you bearish? This is going to be a big one. We're going to have a pretty crazy day ahead of us. So let me know. Are you bullish or are you bearish? You got to comment right now or it does not count. Where's our boy Rick? Here's our boy Rick. We're getting ready, folks.
Growth, yes, I agree with you. I think inflation issues and general
here we go.
Debt issues around the
I'll
globe
get up the 15 second.
Preference.
We're at 588 and we're 10 seconds out.
160,000 close to expectations.
Buddy.
I'd pay particularly close attention to average hourly earnings.
Boom.
I think that gives us some type of glimpse into the topics of inflation. It isn't correlated there, but obviously if the incomes remain on the high side, there's going to be an issue potentially down the road to continue to monitor higher wages, and that all feeds through into higher prices. Or reverse, higher prices leads to higher wages. All right, here we go. Non-farm payrolls for the month of December on our job report. Way high, 256,000.
Holy shit,
what a
team.
shocker. 212,000 on last week's revised 227,000. But let's look at 2 weeks worth. If we get 2 weeks worth of revisions, we're looking at down 8,000, down 8,000.
That
now,
was
256,
not good.
have to see when that comps to.
Oh, my God.
That would be the comp of March of last year when it was 310,000, which means it would be the second best, basically going back to that point. Now, let's look at some of the important internals, shall we?
It went from 588 down to 582.50, bounced back up to 586. Jeez. Hello volatility.
Average hourly earnings year over year.
SPY puke, Q's puke, Russell puke, Bitcoin puke. Bitcoin puke from 95 down to 94.
I'd like to see people make more wages, but we know that we've been feeding the beast with regard to income and higher
Batman.
prices. 3.9 equates to
Holy
April of last
shit.
year to find a lower. You have to go all the way back to March, which I think is pretty interesting.
Right there. See, the revision was lower. I told you not so good. They revised lower, but unemployment dropped.
Basically has been
I think this is the market actually calling BS. I think the market is literally saying these numbers are full of shit. That's bad.
62.5 exactly as expected. I'm sorry.
Average hourly earnings.
That was the labor force participation rate, 62.5.
All right, we'll let Rick
and it has
rip
been
it for a
hovering
second.
at that level, Joe. 62.5. 62.6 was October of last year. Last year's complete high water mark was 62.7. The lowest of last year was 62.5. Just to put a face on 62.5. And now the underemployment rate known as U6, 7.5%. That is way down from 7.8.
It's this revision right here. The unemployment is actually lower than expectations, which is like normally good. Why we're dropping so bad is that revision.
The market speaks for itself.
Once again, they just are lying about numbers.
I brought out drop in wages, the underemployment rate, the actual employment rate, U3, and it looked at the jobs creation at 256,000. We zoomed up all the way up to 477 plus on a 10. We zoomed up all the way near 5% in a 30-year bond, literally 4.998. And that is something to pay very close attention to, because we haven't traded over 5% in a 30-year bond since the fall of 2023.
Order filled.
And we see the pre-opening equity markets took a huge ding. So we need to monitor. Not only are we not seeing what Fed officials really thought would be a slower jobs market, as you pointed out, we see sticky inflation, and much of the Fed speak last week was, well, we think 1 to 2 cuts is still in the cards. If the year develops as we think it will, meaning conforming to dot plots, this doesn't look like it's dot plotting very normally against what we saw in the last meeting. Back to the panel.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Let's bring in our jobs panel again, Sarah, Ben, and Allison. But, Steve, we just... How long ago were you sitting? You were sitting over here. That was today.
I was on the other side there then. So
no, I told you I was scared. I really was hoping for a really crappy number, and it's not so much that that I think that would mean more cuts or a likelihood of more cuts. I just think it would start to make you think that we don't have to worry about inflation so much. But when things like this are happening, inflation, which is already, you know, and I'm not talking about tariffs necessarily, and I'm not talking about immigration necessarily, but add those in. But just where we are, just from what's remaining from what the Fed was trying to do in the first place. We weren't there yet when they started cutting. And it doesn't seem like we're there, and this doesn't seem like, and the markets do not like this. And there goes the 10-year and the 30-year. Why am I wrong?
Well, it's like you come home and your daughter kisses you and you say, I'm afraid you're not going to love me in the future. I mean, right now, Joe, you got really good.
What's he talking about?
You're just arguing. You're arguing with the markets. Don't. I mean,
I'm not. I'm just.
Why
saying,
is it happening then?
I'm just saying.
Just talk about what is not.
First, you're right. You're right in the sense that the Fed had pushed aside this notion that employment was a potential source of inflation. These kind of numbers kind of bring it back in the sense that the payroll numbers themselves are hot. Unemployment rate has been, dancing around this 4.1, 4.2 number. But I don't want to awfulize this number, Joe. I just think it's the wrong way.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I mean, the market can awfulize it all
What is
it
the
wants.
market saying?
I don't think it's right to awfulize it, okay? I am going to argue with the market.
No cuts?
I'm going to put my hand down.
No cuts?
I think it's no cuts. I think that's right. But we're putting a lot of people to work. We reduce the number of long-term unemployed. We have a little room left to
we
go
always like
on
jobs.
Participation.
There's always that argument.
Wages were not that
we're talking
hot.
about markets. There's always the argument that we do want people working. We want people getting
I don't
great
let Wall
increases.
Street tell me what the right
Sometimes
number of employment
Depends on what the number. Let's get to.
It is a cynical perspective.
It is, but it's just we are
good. People
we
have
face
jobs.
What we face. Sarah, what are you? Are we over here? Are we seeing the kind of economic activity that would say yes, you were right, Jay Powell, to cut, and yes, we need to cut more?
Well, I think, first of all, when Jay first cut by 50 basis points in September, they might have been a little bit overly optimistic on the view that the employment markets were weakening, which obviously they're not. I think there's three factors that determine the path of the markets from here. That is, what does the Fed do? How much tighter do conditions get? And also market valuations. So starting with the Fed, we are already down from
payrolls grew by 256,000 in December, much more than expected. Unemployment rate falls to 4.1. The fact that the market's puking, they're calling bullshit. They really are. This is such like an FU.
It's also stronger dollar, so that's also kind of a negative here, which is why the
what
markets are down.
the chance of a
And then
rate
let's talk
cut
about
is right now.
valuations. We are currently trading
We're currently at 4.25%. There's a 93% chance of no rate cut whatsoever at the January 29th meeting.
We can't rely on valuation expansion. We're going to need to rely on earnings growth. And can we get that? We can probably get about 6 to 7% earnings growth on the S&P. That takes us for the bulls to about 6,400 on the S&P if everything works out just for earnings growth, which is basically, kind of what we have to rely on here because valuations are going to have a tough time expanding for the S&P.
Ben?
Yeah, so I think that the big number here is not the payroll number, which is coming in much hotter than a lot of analysts expected. But the big number here is the U3 and the U6. So seeing increased tightness in the labor market. This isn't just in isolation. We're on the cusp of a new administration. We're on the cusp of a new administration which has pledged a very different immigration policy than one we've seen for the past 4 years. So I think this makes the Fed's job harder. The Fed will have to again start worrying about wage price spirals and labor-driven inflation, particularly if we see out-migration in terms of immigration and a shrinking labor force. So, that's a real concern. I agree with Steve. Like, in the absence of that, this is probably good news. This is more jobs for Americans, rising wages, but there is a real concern about the labor market becoming too tight.
Bitcoin is getting nailed. 95
Allison,
down to 93.
From where you're sitting, what do you think?
Bitcoin is actually already making a fresh local low from that 830 dump. The SPY and the Qs are not far away. The Russell's not far
I'm starting
away.
to just think this is a healthy labor market, and we might have to come to terms with the fact that anyway, inflation
Gap down
isn't
on the
as
SPY here.
low as the Fed would like. This might just be where inflation is, and
Gap down on the
our new
Qs.
equilibrium rate of inflation, which is bad news for the Fed, because I think they were very anxious to cut so they could tell the story that, oh, we've got inflation back down to target. We're
They
still
already
fully
cut. They
wanted to keep cutting.
I know,
So
but they can make mistakes, Allison.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Go ahead, Allison.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I think they were trying to tell the
Awkward.
story. We beat inflation, we're credible, and now it looks like that last half mile isn't going anywhere. And I think there's a lot of inflationary pressure in the pike next year.
Bitcoin
even
rejected
if
at the 50 daily EMA here. Watched 91.187, basically just above 91K.
We were below target, then we were above target. But since we've had a target, when has inflation ever been to?
Tesla dropping from 396 down to 390.
These things matter.
Wednesday's low is 387.
If we saw, and no one's saying we're going back to
is getting
Jimmy Carter
cracked.
years, and
Palantir,
we had a funeral yesterday, but
MSTR, Microsoft.
It matters if you don't anticipate properly. Like when they stayed at zero too long, you can make the same mistake coming down too quickly.
Rumble, DJT, everything got hit on that.
Not just no cuts,
everything got hit on that.
You really have. This is could
Amazon,
be. They could be
Coin,
raising
Palo
by the end of the
Alto.
year.
And
I think that's looking likely.
Texas
I mean,
Roadhouse
that's
is
it. Like,
holding.
I
Hell
think
yeah.
we're right that maybe
Bonds
one
got
cut is
murked.
the best case
20-year
scenario,
bonds,
and I
so
think that
yields are
that's highly
ripping.
unlikely. I
Oil
mean,
commodities are
unless, to be
ripping.
worse, there's a big economic shock that
Right
causes
here,
a
you have
recession.
gold
Then they'll
ripping.
probably
Excuse
cut,
me,
but I don't
you
think
have
anyone
oil
wants that.
ripping, black gold.
The big story
You
in
have
this
gold,
number, sorry,
actual
is
gold
the
falling,
231
bonds
in the private
falling,
sector. So this
yields
is the
up.
private sector job.
Private sector job.
Jeez.
I'd love to
Solana
bring
got
Rick in just to
hit,
see
Ripple
if
got
Allison's
hit.
right on this,
Wow.
Rick.
Wow.
If those are the last cuts we've seen, if maybe there's one more, and if this is just the new reality, healthy economy, great. How will the bond market react? How do you see it playing from here? Because right now you're talking about the 10-year almost at 4.8%.
Jesus, the 10-year.
I think the bond market's going to act exactly the way it's been acting. I think longer
yields
duration,
are just
10s,
ripping.
20s, and 30s, maybe even 7s are going to be more sticky.
We're coming in
I
on
think the yield curve's going to
4.8.
continue to steepen. It's not
Bonds
hovering
are
at 40
just
basis
getting
points.
hit
I wouldn't at
so
all
hard.
be shocked to see us in the 75 to 80
Well,
basis point
we
range
might be in a
rather
tail
quickly
risk
by
type of
mid-year.
situation,
I do
team.
believe that issuance is going to be a
might
big
be
deal.
in a bit
Everybody
of a
keeps
tail
bringing
risk.
up the UK. Well, the UK, of course, doesn't have the reserve currency. They have quite a bit of debt. They're going to have quite a bit of issuance. And, of course, their rates are moving higher as well. I think all
the
of this
puke
is
low
gonna
at
remain
830
exactly the way
is
it is. I don't understand
582.50,
why there should be many
and it
question
is
marks, and the question marks
508
bet they
on the
rise
SPY and
because
Qs respectively.
No one wants to acknowledge the truth that's right in front of us.
582.50 and
The
508.
economy,
Watch those
even with all the
lines.
seasonal
They're going to
issues,
be
I don't
an
trust
important
these job
bearish
numbers,
line
but
for
they're
today's
still
like
hot.
trading
I
session.
think that you're going to see the economy chugging along better than the Fed expected, much better than our overseas competition. We're going to continue to see export economies not convert to consumption economies, which makes trade deficits something important to pay attention to. You know, we've been saying for decades China needs to be more consumption driven, but they're not. And they're going to be stimulating even more. There's
Small
more
cap
profits.
is
They're gonna support
bouncing
their
less.
currency. All of this is going to lead to firm pressure on U.S. rates. The good news, it's also going to draw in capital. So I think there is a
All
way
right, I have
to
alerts set
coexist with
on
a
all
more
those
positive
835
equity market
lows.
with rising rates,
Bitcoin,
as long as the capital keeps
decent
coming
bounce,
in.
$500-600
But the big key
bounce.
is going to be how the market looks at the new administration, their programs, and how inflation and spending ultimately conforms to try to mold these deficits into something more manageable.
Sarah, we had great rising equity prices for 2 years until 6 weeks ago. And this is, I mean, is that the start of, so you don't think that's the start of anything? I mean,
Bonds
suddenly these numbers like this
destroyed.
and are starting to,
Dollar
this is what
ripping.
was looming for maybe why market participants weren't as
This could be a day of
friendly
pain,
towards
folks.
the equity markets.
A day of
Maybe it was
pain.
this.
Well, first of all, if we look under the hood of what's been happening since the S&P's gone off peak levels, the equal weighted S&P is about twice as bad as the S&P in general. So what that's telling you is that tech has been the leader for this cycle, and tech is what struggles as rates continue to rise. So I don't think we can count on tech to lead from here. So I think that's a negative.
We're hanging out
for the S&P
just
500.
below
Second
the
is,
low
all
value
this talk
from
about yields
Wednesday,
and what
which
does
is
that mean for the
technically a
equity
gap
markets?
down.
Well, equities can handle a spike in yields if it's because of incrementally stronger economic growth. But if the yields are rising because of sticky inflation and with average hourly earnings still at
the
0.3%,
SPY, the Qs, and the Russell are all below their low value from Wednesday, last trading session.
The Fed has a
Dollar
hawkish tilt, which is
ripping.
also what we're seeing. That's where equities struggle, and that's why
Tesla's
today,
down
even with a strong
1%,
employment market,
Nvidia's down
we're seeing equities continue to
2.7,
struggle because
Palantir
what they're saying is that
3.3,
yields are spiking because inflation is here to
MicroStrategy
stay,
is 1,
because the Fed is going to become
Microsoft
incrementally more
0.8,
hawkish than they
Apple
already are.
0.5, Rumble 3,
Ben,
DJT
additional
1.8.
thoughts? We got some time.
Everything is in the
Yeah,
red.
so I think
ASML
that,
is
I agree
actually
with
in the
everything that
green.
was just said, but moving forward over the course of
Wow.
the year, I think markets are waiting with bated breath to see what's going to happen with this reconciliation
Wow.
bill. So what's baked into market expectations and what drove that 100 bips
Oh,
increase
buddy. Oh, buddy,
in
oh,
advance of
buddy.
the election was an expectation
Bitcoin's trying to
of
recover a little
kind of
bit.
zero fiscal stimulus, a very low fiscal
All
stimulus,
right.
which is just a
I find this guy to be 10-year Treasury yield spikes after much hotter than expected jobs report. This is all coming back to expectations now, what's going to happen at the January 29th FOMC meeting. As you can see, the current odds are pretty much very, very unlikely that we'll get a rate cut. We're currently at 4.25%, and there's a 93% chance we'll stay at 4.25%. One thing that I found concerning that they're not really talking about yet is they revised this down. The previous jobs report that they gave us, they first had that there at 227. That's what was reported to us last month, and they just revised this down to 212. Not so good. In fact, that's so concerning that the market is calling BS on the rest of these numbers. We can do like more of a deep dive on that, but overall, the market is concerned about rate cuts. They're concerned about, did the Fed make the right move? Are they being a little bit too dovish here? Like, what's going on? Wow, what a day. And price action is telling you everything you need. The fact that we so violently puked at 830, and granted, we're getting a little bit of a bounce off this 835 low right here. But to clarify, we're still at the low value from Friday. So the daily structures, we're basically right where my cursor is. We're at these low values on the SPY, on the Qs, on the Russell. Like, we're clearly trending down. Lower highs, lower lows. Lower highs, lower lows. Lower highs, lower lows. The SPY, obviously, we're below this EMA cloud. We're below the 50. Like, we're just not trending in the right way. The 5-minute, the 10-minute, and the 30-minute, these are all just various EMAs. Look at everything's bearish. Like, all the time frames that you probably care about it is not in any way favoring the bulls at this moment in time. Of course, anything can flip on a moment's notice, but geez, we are getting set up for a pretty crazy volatile opening. This one's going to be a bit insane today. So out of the gate, as of right now, clearly the bears are in control, but also the market's not open yet, and we've seen crazier recoveries in the past. Obviously, at this moment, I'm a trend following trader, so the fact that the trend's down, I do give the advantage, we'll call it, to the bear camp to see if they're going to be continuing it. But I'm also not saying it's impossible that we don't have an incredible recovery. I think a lot more of it is going to come down to what is the options flow of the day. So I want to see, we saw concluding the market on Wednesday, there was a lot of puts being sold and some calls being put, really putting positive delta in the system on both the S&P 500 index and also on the Mag 7, which is really directing the market. But let's just wait for market open. Let's see how things settle, and let's see what direction we're really going to go from there. I cannot stress this enough, but arbitrarily throwing on a trade right at market open with no really respect for risk, you're asking for trouble. Of course, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you crush it, and I hope you make a lot of money, but just be very, very mindful of your downside risk. So obviously all those numbers are coming out. Thus far, not so good. And let's get into some of the other major things. Did they already update this? Friday's job report could present a mixed view of the labor market. It presented a pretty freaking mixed view. So I want to talk about that stuff. Obviously, I wanted to do some chart breakdowns, but there's some other news I do want to share with you. Raging Los Angeles fires wreak destruction. Death toll rises to 10 as fires burn in America's most populous county. The videos from this are absolutely horrendous. It's like truly a hellscape of everything that's going on, kind of in the northwest of LA. It's a region referred to as the Palisades. When I checked it yesterday, the fire was 0% contained. I hope that number is no longer true. I hope we at least have some sort of containment, but the whole thing is just one unfortunate break and one mismanagement after another. It's sad. This is incredibly sad. I believe that there's already 55 or 57 billion with a B dollars worth of damage. LA fire crews make strides in fighting blazes as toll climbs. Okay, so we did jump from 0 to 35. Threats are likely to rise again early next week as winds rise, so maybe it goes back down to 0. But I don't think there's any better definition than this is just a scary, scary hellscape. Biden surges federal aid to address catastrophic fires. Biden says federal funding to cover 100% of costs for 180 days. Harris joins Biden for briefing, calls situation apocalyptic. So it, like I said, it is crazy, and I'm sure many of you are paying attention to it. Obviously, if you have any friends or family in the area, like Godspeed. This is a scary thing.
Today, I'm announcing that the federal government will cover 100% of the cost for 180 days. This is going to pay for things like debris and hazard material removal, temporary shelters, first responders' salaries, and all necessary measures to protect life and property. And folks, I want to underscore, I told the governor and local officials, spare no expense to do what they need to do and contain these fires and in their communities that have really been devastating. And we're doing literally everything we can at a federal level. That's also why I call this group of folks around this table of all relevant federal departments and agencies together to discuss what more we can do, and some of the folks around the screen as well. Before we begin things, here's an update on where things stand right now. First, we focused on helping contain these fires. Over the last 24 hours, the United States Forest Service, working with state and local responders, has suppressed over 50 fire starts. And the fire in the Hollywood Hills has been contained by brave firefighters risking their lives. Right now, 3 major fires are still burning in the Pacific Palisades, in Pasadena, and in Sylmar. I want to be clear. What I know from talking to the governor, that there are concerns out there that there's also been a water shortage. The fact is, the utilities understandably shut off power because they're worried the lines that they carried energy were going to be blown down and spark additional fires. But the Cal Fire, when it did that, it cut off the ability to generate pumping the water. That's what caused the lack of water in these hydrants. And so
there's a lot of conspiracies going on about that.
To get these pumps up and working again so that there's no longer a shortage of water coming out of these hydrants. I'm also surging all federal resources possible to Southern California, including 400 additional federal firefighters, over 30 firefighting helicopters and planes, federally supplied, firefighting planes and helicopters, and 8 Department of Defense C-130s that are equipped to suppress wildfires. Today, the Secretary of Defense also authorized 500 wildfire ground clearing personnel from the Defense Department. And I've directed the department to continue working with Governor Newsom to identify additional resources that can be provided for public safety and security. And we've secured additional firefighters and firefighting aircraft from our ally in Canada as well.
So basically, the TLDR of this is the local government of LA has no idea what they're doing with respect to the fire. I feel very bad for the people fighting the fires because they were clearly, from a government level, ill-equipped. I believe that they were more than capable of doing what they need to, but because of various, lack of funding, silly DEI initiatives, weird laws related to premiums in a lot of these houses, it's just a mess. It is an absolute foobar clusterfuck. So that's one thing going on in a local area. And for whatever reason, we're in a situation where there's something that I find so particularly irksome about this is that the U.S. government on a national level, the second someone in Ukraine scratches their knee and gets a little boo-boo, and they're like, hey, man, I'd really appreciate a Band-Aid for the scrape on my knee. Biden's like, I'm going to give you billions of dollars right now. And then, granted, I'm not saying that the federal U.S. government isn't assisting here, because they are assisting, but it's so slow. It's so lackluster. And then when we hear commentary from the mayor, when we hear commentary from the governor, it's so just inhumane how we treat our own people. I just don't this is, if what was going on right now was in a book, in a movie, in a show, I would not believe it. I'd be like, nope, that is literally, it's just outside the bounds of any reasonable logic, morality, putting your own house in order. I would just simply not believe it. That's how ridiculous I would find it. And then yet that's actually the world we're currently living in. Also, in the world of politics, Supreme Court allows Trump sentencing in New York hush money case. Trump won't face prison time in Friday morning sentencing, so that's going down today. Roberts Barrett joined liberals a majority of a 5-4 decision. So that's happening today. The fires are happening today. The unemployment is happening today. And also, TikTok Supreme Court clash pits free speech against U.S. Secretary. That's today at 10 a.m. So there's a lot on the political side of the world and the economy, and then thus impacting the stock market. A lot is going down today. Bringing it back to the economy, obviously the big thing today was 8:30 this morning. We got the non-farm payrolls. The forecast was 164, came in way higher than expected. They also forecasted 4.2%, came in at 4.1. These are more bullish than expected. The bearish thing is this revision. Last month when we got the number, it was 227,000 jobs. They revised it lower, 212. I actually can't name a month off the top of my head where the following month they didn't have to revise it lower, which is giving a bit more credence to the conspiracy that they lie to us about this stuff all the time. So all of this together is dramatically increases the market is now betting that we will not get a rate cut at the January 29th FOMC decision day. So that's kind of the news in a nutshell. Of course, there's more to nuances to break down there, but just to keep this going, we're not really at the start of earnings season, but we're pretty much there starting next week. This morning, Delta, Tilray, Walgreens, those are ones you probably care about. With respect to Delta Outlook tops estimates as CEO expects 2025 to be airline's best financial year in our history. Obviously, people very much enjoying that news. Delta forecasts first quarter earnings between 70 cents and $1, slightly higher than analyst estimates. Delta beat sales and earnings estimates for the last 3 months of the year. The carrier is the first of the major U.S. carriers to report results. So when it comes to the world of large airlines, when I say Delta, also think United, think Southwest, and think American. They're pretty much the same business. It is very, very, very rare that one is an outlier. As in, if one's beating, they're probably all beating. So the fact that Delta's numbers were good, many people who know that there's this high correlation are extrapolating that forward, assuming that the other major airlines, the other major three, once again, United, Southwest, and American, will also be beating. So a little bit of positive news in air travel. Not really an earnings play, but important just for what's going on. World's biggest chip maker, TSMC, posts record 2024 revenue as AI boost continues. So Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing posted December quarter revenue that topped analyst estimates as the company continues to get a boost from the AI boom. Very much going on the, supportive tailwinds of what we just heard from NVIDIA at CES, and basically Jensen, the CEO, saying, yeah, things are looking real good. Also, simultaneously, and we could get into this, he kind of destroyed quantum computing. Jensen had some commentary commentary that if you look at all those companies like RGTI or whatever it was, there was that group of these I guess that whole quantum computing sector in one day lost like 20-30%, and it's all because of Jensen. TSMC manufactures semiconductors for some of the world's biggest companies, from Apple to NVIDIA. So really, they're the fabricator, and then you have things such as AMD and NVIDIA, that's the designer. ASML makes the machine, so that's kind of a better understanding of how the ecosystem works together. Some upstream, some downstream. Really far upstream would be things like just the precious metals that are needed. For 2024, TSMC's revenue totaled 2.9 trillion new Taiwan dollars, its highest annual sales since going public in 1994. Related, NVIDIA's tiny 3,000 computer for AI developers steals the show at CES. NVIDIA revealed a 3,000 mini computer for AI developers this week. So that news in itself caused NVIDIA on Tuesday, January 7th, to gap up to a new all-time high of 153.13. But as you can tell, there was some considerable profit taking. What we saw for the options flow on Tuesday was a lot of calls being sold. Not really people aggressively buying puts, but man, oh man, were people hitting the cash register, locking in their tendies, and we fell and fell and fell. Wednesday was a bit of a choppy, kind of bearish leaning day. And then obviously with this morning, with the whole market tilting, we are now down to 136.62, a literal gap down. So 3 pretty brutal days, starting with actually making a new all-time high. NVIDIA could target the 50 billion per year PC market in the future with this chip, which I think they will do. And I should probably make a standalone video on this. But within this meeting, he was also, Jensen, when I say he, I'm referring to the CEO of NVIDIA, was talking about how like one particular sector where he thinks like all of this is really going to go and become multi-trillion is basically autonomous vehicles. And he was clearly referring to Elon and Tesla. So just want to throw that out there. Tesla launches refreshed Model Y in China to fend off domestic rivals. This was announced yesterday. And on the announcement, the stock itself had a nice upswing overnight, actually getting as high at one point in the overnight market trading. I think it was as high as like 400, 402, 403. Early this morning, we were at 399. But once again, everything is currently being drugged down by the SPY and the Qs absolutely vomiting. Oh, and just so you know, we broke this downline trend line, upward facing trend line, not so good for the major indices right now. But positive news. And obviously, without this positive news, Tesla would most likely currently be worse off. Not a huge update for Microsoft, but I just think it's a bit funny, so I wanted to share it with all you. Microsoft contributes $1 million to Trump's inauguration fund. You're seeing a bunch of big tech companies, we'll just call them the tech bros, basically all giving Trump about $1 million for the inauguration as a I'm sorry. It's hilarious, but everyone is just joining suit. All these big tech bros are basically saying, ooh, we didn't really treat you fairly. We weren't on the right side of history. We're afraid what you're going to do to us in the future. So will $1 million make it better? We're super sorry. But Microsoft is just another one on the litany of tech companies that are specifically for the inauguration fund giving Trump money. I just find it absolutely hilarious. Now, I talked about this a second ago, but I just want to share it again. TikTok Supreme Court clash pits free speech against the U.S. security. Justices hear arguments in the case Friday starting at 10 a.m. Biden and Trump are at the odds over delaying ban past inauguration. So with this, I think this could lead to a very just like interesting business case study because there's a couple conglomerates, if you will, in the U.S. that are basically saying, hey, we'll buy the U.S. version of us, like silo off the U.S. version of TikTok, like that particular pillar, give it to us, we'll buy it. This is so interesting to me. I'm clashed myself because on one side, you have a massively popular social media company and like it's just a well-run business. It's hugely popular. It's a big business driver. It's kind of crazy just to see it like wither on the one. On the other side, they are so obviously selling all of our data to China and probably not selling, just probably literally giving them all of our data. If you don't think that TikTok is directly helping and assisting and doing whatever the CCP wants, obviously TikTok owned by ByteDance. ByteDance is a Chinese company. I have a bridge to sell you. So like, it's kind of interesting. Massively popular business, massively popular, and also from a business perspective, pretty successful. But on the other side, it is also clearly a security issue. So I would assume the way this is going to go is that it is siloed off and just the US version is sold. I don't really see, just with like kind of like the tech Cold War going on right now, that they're just going to let it be on everyone's phone in the US and then, hey, we're just going to send all this data to China. Like, I just don't think that they're going to allow it. So I think the solution is going to be somewhere in the middle. It's going to be an interesting one, though. Interesting to say the least. Obviously, we're setting up for an absolutely insane day. We're getting a little bit of a tiny bounce right now, but still below that closing value on, or the low value on Friday. Even worse off, the closing value was all the way up there. So things are not looking so bueno. The Russell, as of now, is taking the biggest hit, down 1.86%. The Qs are down 1%, and then the SPY is down 0.9. So the Russell taking the small cap sector, IWM is the ETF tracking it, taking the worst hit. Tech taking the second worst hit, and then they're all taking a bad hit, but the SPY relative to the other two is taking the least hit. But once again, all in the red, and not just below the closing value from Wednesday, but below the low value. That's this solid red line on all the charts. So right now, we're starting off not on the best foot. Maybe there's a miraculous recovery, but I would not say that that has the highest odds. Speaking of Wednesday, January 8th, I had a pretty solid trading day, made about $3,000. Piper, not the best day. Piper right here fired off at 10:21 in the morning, recommended a call credit spread, which is bearish 4 out of 5, which is a 2x multiple. So it's a confidence reading between 3, 4, and 5, which is equivalent to either 1, 2, or 3x multiple. Anyway, this is a bearish to neutral play when you're engaging in call credit spread. Think of it as a sports bet. You're betting on the under. You're betting on the SPY being below 589. You're betting on the Qs being below 517. The SPY missed, and that was a loss. It was like a partial miss, and then the Qs hit. So it was pretty much, like probably after fees and whatnot, it was probably break even, but the SPY lost 40, the Qs returned 44. So it was a break even day. My personal trade, I executed it on SPX. When you're engaging in credit spreads, whether put or calls, I would vehemently argue that SPX is better than SPY, because that's just the differences between European and American style contracts. But anyway, right here, here's proof of mine. I sold the 5,930 and my protection leg was 5,935. But once again, this was a call credit spread, as in betting that SPX would end the day below 5,930. Obviously it did. So I took 100% of the credit, which was $3,000. Or to put that another way, you could have paid for 5 entire years of access to the Goonie trading Discord if you agreed with this one singular play. Obviously, the first month is 100% free anyway. Just put in that code Goonie. My mod will drop it in chat. It's in the description of the video. But anyway, the promo code Goonie will give you 1 entire free month where you get access to not only my day trades, but my swing trades, the Piper signal, the salad bar signal, all the private lectures, and of course, all the other people in the Discord who are just day trading and swing trading and crypto trading and prop trading. Basically, you get access to a great community of active traders to be able to bounce ideas off of them. Also, to get that, it's all done via locals. So mackors.locals.com. On that, you're either a member or a supporter. A supporter is a premium member, which is how you get access to the Discord. But if you just want to be a member, you still get a bunch of great freebie things, such as this newsletter that comes to your email inbox every single weekend. And I give you a breakdown, all the earnings, all the major macroeconomic events, such as the market closed yesterday, unemployment report this morning. I think it's most useful to know the seasonality. For today specifically, this is the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought at open and sold at close on this individual day over the past 25 years. So basically the hypothetical 1 trade a year. This day, the bulls have won it 52% of the time, as in the bears have won it 48. So pretty much flipping a coin. But when the bears win it, they win it with like slightly greater size. And if you look at it, it's pretty jagged, like a bullish year, a bearish year, a bullish year, a bearish year, a bullish year, a bearish year. So I would say the seasonal buys for today today is a neutral one, as in I'm just not taking it into account with my particular trades. If anything, I'll just really be looking at the price action for the day. Also on that note, since it is a Friday, Payday Friday, January the 10th, it is a Payday Friday giveaway. So we're going to be doing this around 10:30, as long as the markets aren't going insane at 10:30. We're giving away $150 cash to the winner of the marbles race, and we're also giving away 3 different prop accounts, options prop accounts at Vanquish. Today is the last day of the Goonie20 code, so 20% off using that code Goonie20. The way you see me trading basically with other people's monies, Vanquish is the best way to do it for options. So if you're like, you know what, I don't want to trade equity, I don't want to trade futures, if you're an options trader, Vanquish is your best way to trade options as a prop account. And right now you could get 20% off Goonie20, and then obviously you could just pick the account size that is appropriate for you. So come over here, select options. Do you want a 10K, 50K, 75, 200, whatever you want, you pick the appropriate size for you, and just make sure you're putting in that code Goonie20, Goonie20, to get that 20% off. Obviously, they are the sponsor of today's Payday Friday, and I will be trading on them as soon as the market gets open. Obviously, if I see a nice opportunity that I want to take advantage of. I want to bring your attention to what's going on with spot gamma. So right here, I find this line to be very interesting. This is a high risk environment wherein a small trigger could elicit a tail move. Accordingly, we will be risk off / short delta on a break of 5,900. So to clarify exactly where we are and what that means, we closed out the day on Wednesday. Remember, the market wasn't open yesterday at 5,918. So if the SPY is down $2 from there, that means we are below 5,900. And if you looked at the SPY right now, where do we close? We closed at 589.49. We're currently at 585, and I'm pretty sure $4 is more than $2. So that means, in fact, if we were to open right now, yes, we would be below that risk off, i.e. kind of like bearish danger type of scenario, at least according to Spot Gamma. And I have to admit, I fully agree with them on this. We are below the danger zone. So unless there's a very quick recovery pretty much in the opening session, look out below. This could get real crazy. Regardless of being bullish or bearish today, I do want everyone to be mentally prepared for larger swings. This is probably a great day to size down and really respect your risk. You don't need to take that much leverage today because there's going to be enough swings and enough movement that if you're on the right side of the said trend, you're going to make enough money anyway. You do not need to be sizing up on a day like this. The other thing I want to break down there, so 5,900 is a very key level for them. Obviously, this is all coming from the options market. Big support at 5,850, and below that, a huge danger zone if we snap it is 5,800. Obviously, I think we could, like in a crazy scenario, be testing these levels today, but I think it's very low odds to actually snap 5,800. But you never know. Like Spot Game is rightfully calling out, we could be in a tail risk type of a scenario. And then to the upside, if we're below 5,900, obviously 5,900 would be a key upside resistance level to watch. And then past that, 5,950. Obviously, these are nice psychological whole numbers, kind of referred to as Livermore numbers for anyone who read that book. But anyway, the reason that these become important is because psychologically people target those, and because they target them, that then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of how important they are, because a lot of people are targeting them in the options market. But as you can see here, the implied volatility for today, the non-farm payrolls, is sky high, and you're seeing why, because obviously look at all this craziness that has already ensued today, and I don't think it's going anywhere in the short term. And then next week it's going to get even crazier, or we're going to continue the crazy party, because we have a PPI report and a CPI report, so more inflation numbers. So we're getting unemployment numbers, inflation numbers, and then the week after that is when we find out what in the world the Fed's going to be doing at the FOMC meeting. So basically, buckle up, Buttercup, because there is a lot going down. There is a lot going down. Like this vol. Actually, where is the VIX at right now? I want to bring up the VIX. Is it even trading yet? No, it's not open yet. Wait, 9/11. It is open. So, vol did jump. Look at this. So vol ended the day in the lower 18s, we're in the upper 18s. If this starts to push 20 and then things get real crazy at like 22, 24, but actually not as high as I thought it would be. I thought volatility would actually be up quite a bit, but like I said, the game hasn't even started. So get ready for all the craziness that is with high odds likely to ensue. So let me get up the daily chart. We have this, we have the 15-second chart. I'll push this back to the 1 minute so we could just look at things in a little bit more of a refined manner. So as of right now, the SPY is at its low value from Wednesday. The Qs are at the low value from Wednesday, and the Russell's below it. So the Russell's taking the worst hit right now, down 1.6%. I have to admit, in the short term, I'm happy about that because I have a lot of puts on the Russell that I was down on. So obviously when the market opens right here, I should be nicely in the green, but I want to see if it holds below whatever this is, the 218 level, which is pretty much where we've just bounced back to. And I also marked out this pre-market low at 216.84. Same thing with the Qs. Obviously, key level is at 510, but if we snap 508, that's the pre-market low. And then on the SPY, we have a key level here at 584, we'll call it 75, but the pre-market low is 582.44. So we're kind of saying, okay, depending on where we open, we might have an upside gap fill. We might not have an upside gap fill. We're going to see how that one does or doesn't play out. Obviously, you could also watch this trend line right out of the gate. Not really my favorite thing to play on a day like today, just because I think the opening session is going to be crazy, but obviously still something worthwhile to watch because we saw this huge vomit and then we're seeing a slight climb up of higher highs, higher lows. So if it snaps this trend line, that might be something very important to pay attention to. You could watch that on the SPY. You could watch that on the Qs as I have measured. So I'll be kind of just keeping an eye on this out of the gate. I'll be watching volatility to see if it pushes above 19, if it pushes above 20. Bitcoin puked, but also, once again, a pretty decent recovery. Maybe it holds, maybe it doesn't hold. There's going to be so many things to watch. This is going to be a fun day. I hope it's a fun day. Well, really, I hope it's a profitable day, but hopefully it's also a very, very fun day. Beyond these trend lines that I already laid out for you, of if we snap that, obviously options flow, we don't have it yet. This will start coming in at 9:30, so clearly I'll be paying attention to that. We have this. We went over the founder's note. The key levels on the day, there is some long puts all the way down to 5,800. We have some long puts down to 5,820. We have some long puts down to 5,845, but we have some sold puts at 5,860. So I'm curious if this player is going to get cracked. Once again, this is on a 0 DTE basis. When you are selling puts, which is where my cursor is, remember, that's a bullish to neutral bet. That player is betting that we end the day above 5,860. Obviously, that's going to offer some support. It gives us some positive gamma. That's what this purple region is about. So that's going to be kind of a line in the sand out of the gate, at least for me, to the point that I should probably mark that out. SPX. So we know there's this key level at 5,900. The next downside level I'll be watching is right here. So if the market continues to the downside, like I said, this will be a big one for me. And then obviously as things develop, we can start to add in more important levels, but literally just seeing how this player is. And then from there, 5845, we might as well just mark that out while we're here because we have this player might decide to monetize their puts if they end up going in the money. So let me get that marked up as well. So some downside bearish ones. Of course, if it cracks those levels, there's more things to pay attention to, such as 5815, 5,800, and then there's a huge supportive play down here at 5,790. Like I said, this massive support, like it is huge. I highly, highly doubt we snap that today. Of course, it can happen. I'm just giving it a low probability setup. So that's the current structure. I'm not seeing too much to the top side, which is not so good. Yes, there are some long calls to 5,950. Yes, there are some long calls to 5,985, but we are not that close to them. There is this interesting level here at 5,930. Right now, this is not right. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I had to go over to the 1 minute to see this crack. 5790, 57. So this is a put credit spread. That's another protective play. So that's a lot of gamma. There's a lot of protection between 5790 and 5775. A lot of protection right there. But there's not, like, there's a little bit of support at 58. what is this, 60, which is this one that I already have mapped out. If this snaps right here, things could get pretty brutal pretty quickly around all the way down to 5,800. Obviously, that's the bear case scenario. The bull case scenario would be we hold 5,860 and just recapture 5,900. We're currently trading right about where my cursor is. We're kind of right on top of it. So if we bounce off of it, recapture 5,900, yeah, maybe the bulls have a bit of a shot here. That's totally 100% possible. On the flip side, if we open up and this cracks and then we just see calls being sold, puts being purchased, and this clearly doesn't hold, we might be talking about a day of getting all the way down to 5,800. This is not a kind of like, I highly doubt a neutral type of whipsaw day. Well, no, I think there might be a lot of whipsaw, but I am definitely expecting larger ranges. So these are just some levels that I wanted to get out there just so we can react a little bit more efficiently in real time. With respect to daily charts, the SPY is just 50 cents above the low from Wednesday. The Qs, similar situation, about $1, maybe 90 cents above the low. So I had it at green at first just because I thought we were going to have these upside gap fills. But now I think we should just kind of actually switch these over to red, because if they start to snap, that could be a very, very bad situation. So watching that, and then actually the small cap sector, it literally does have this upside gap fill. So I'm just going to add the alert right there. I should probably be adding an alert on all this stuff just to know if we're breaking key levels. I don't want to miss anything in the heat of battle. So that's the SPY, the Qs, the Russell. Bitcoin actually having a pretty decent recovery. I'm actually very impressed with this recovery right here. You could see over the 5-minute, huge vomit, but recovering all the way back up. Tesla vomited, but maybe a 50% recovery. NVIDIA vomited, almost 100% recovery. Palantir vomited, 50% recovery. MSTR, 66% recovery. Microsoft, about 50. Apple, about 50. Rum, about 50. DJT, about 50. Broadcom, a little bit more. Meta, about 75. So we're seeing a huge hit at 8:30 and like either an all recovery or like a 50 to 60% recovery. That's the vibe as we have about 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go. Let me get back to this. I don't want to miss any of this craziness. All right. We got to get our head on straight today. We got to get our heads on straight today. 5,900 key watch of the morning, 5,860 key watch of the morning. The other thing I want to give you is right here. Okay, this is going to update right at market open. Let's do the update on this. Let's do the update on this. We have a bunch of sold calls at 5,925. We have some long calls at 5,900. We're below it. So once again, there's going to be a big structural change right at market open. So we might as well wait for that. I don't want to give out any false information at this moment. Going to be looking for those delta changes. And we're going to be trading on some prop accounts. So don't forget, if you want to get in on Vaquinch, that code GOONY20, you're going to get 20% off, which makes those 10K accounts very, very affordable. And we're going to see if we can have some fun. And then, of course, as long as the market's not too crazy, at 10:30, we are going to be doing a Payday Friday giveaway. So you could sign up on Locals right now, the way so many people here already have, 45 people already have. I just need a way to contact you if you happen to be one of the winners of potentially the race. And obviously, if you're selected from Locals, you're going to be getting one of the Vanquish accounts. So we're going to have some fun, not only in this crazy market, but also directly with Payday Friday. Now, we have exactly 10 minutes to go, which is exactly where I wanted to be at this part of the day. Give me your questions. What's on everyone's mind? Clearly, the bears are in control. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour bearish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour bearish across the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and honestly, even if I load up the Russell, I'm sure we're going to see the same thing. If this loads, I have too many tabs open. I have too much going on. Come on. Come on, TradingView. Don't fail me now. Come on, Chrome. Don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Right here. And then here, even on the Russell, just to kind of show you 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, at like everything is bearish on small to longer, I should say medium time frames across all three major indices. I get that there's a little bit of a short-term bounce, but I'm not going to be convinced of that until I also see the options flow. Right now, I'm not discounting a bullish day. Yes, it is all completely possible. It is theoretically possible, but remember, this is a game of odds and likelihood. IWM support levels, I already kind of broke that down, but just to give it to you again very quickly, 218 is a D-Day scenario, and it's at 218. Look at support levels are very easy. I know there's a lot of grifters out there that try to treat support and resistance and teaching it as like this like very difficult brain rocket surgery type of a thing. All you have to do is look at the previous times that price reverted. It reverted there from down to up. It reverted there from down to up. It reverted there from down to up. It reverted right there from down to up. And guess what's common about all these levels? It was 218. So support and resistance, don't let anyone tell you that it's like a difficult thing to figure out. Literally, you could take a person who doesn't know anything about trading whatsoever or stocks or finance, and you can teach them everything you need to know about support and resistance within like 15 minutes. Seriously, all you have to do is look at where price reverted in previous occasions. And then the idea is like, oh, okay, I think it might revert there again because there's enough people paying attention to the previous reversion that the idea is that they would prompt them to do something the next time you get to that level. So obviously buyer stepped in, buyer stepped in, buyer stepped in, buyer stepped in. Technically, that's not right. Most of the time reversions come from not buyer stepping in, but more so of selling ending. But that's kind of a besides the point right here. All you have to know is 218 on the Russell's very important. And then a potential recovery number would be closer to like 222. But overall, when it comes to support and resistance, it's a very easy thing to understand. Don't let anyone overcomplicate it for you. Like I said, I think you could take a person who literally knows nothing about the market and they could learn it like absurdly quickly. One thing that I find really concerning about this situation, like I said, we see that all the EMAs are red. Obviously, we all watched that flush at 8:30 right when the announcement came out. None of that is good, but what I find very concerning right here is bonds are dying. Bonds are getting destroyed and yields are ripping. That is not good. Not good. Not good in the hood. This is basically saying this is representative of the market saying, hey, government, hey, Fed, we think you're getting inflation completely wrong. Completely wrong when you see yields ripping this much. So that's a huge concern. And then we're also seeing commodities picking up. I mean, oil's been ripping from 68 and change all the way up to 77, about to get a breakout, which is another telltale sign that people are the market is very legitimately concerned about inflation because there's a flight to commodities. We're seeing gold absolutely rip, another flight to safety. We're seeing the yield curve, the bullish steepening continue, which once again is representative of a soft labor market. That's not good. And this movement is not only being backed up by bonds vomiting, but also the revisions to the previous unemployment numbers. We're not cooking up with a good situation right now. So as much as I don't want to be a person who's like, oh, this has to happen, it's just a game of probabilities. And right now there is a higher probability favoring the short-term bear case than the short-term bull case. Of course, as things develop, as people make decisions and actions, as in money flows, the probabilities are going to skew. But right now, in real time, a snapshot of all the current information we have, clearly the short-term probabilities are more favorable towards the bears than the bulls. There's nothing ever guaranteed. You can never say anything's an absolute. And of course, what I'm saying right now, based on future actions, even in 10 minutes, could be completely inverted. All I can say is as we're going into market open, we have 4 minutes to go. The snapshot of the current information in the short term favors the bears. Once again, we're going to have to continually update that idea and that thesis, but geez, no way. Was there a revision down? Yes, that would be shocking. Mabs, you get it. you get the fact that they never truthfully tell us the number. And then they're just like, well, we can't because like sometimes the number is like difficult to get. And sometimes there's like a lot of confusion around it. Yeah, they give us BS every single time. It's just reverting down, reverting down, reverting down. So if the market were to open right now, we would be opening without an upside gap fill. It seems like we're opening right above that low from Wednesday, but I'm curious if this is going to be one of those situations where the market is opening right above it, which means the chart itself is pretty clean, as in there's no gap to run up to, and we just vomit right out of the gate and then just go and go and go, similar to what we saw at 8:30. So that's, I guess, a little bit of the confusion and apprehension that I have. Tesla's down by 1%. Nvidia's down by, Palantir's getting really hit right now. Palantir's down by 3.7 and dropping aggressively. I'm still in my position that you guys saw me take at like 832, 831. I'm currently down on it by about 60 points, which is about 1.2K. But I just kind of wanted it in because I'm worrying. My idea here and the risk that I'm willing to take is that there's a lot of panic right at market open, and that's what I'm looking to take advantage of. Now, I might be completely wrong on it, and it might be a huge losing trade for me, but I think that the risk-reward situation does favor me on this, so we're going to find out. Now, with about 2.5 minutes to go, I'm looking over here at chat. First of all, don't forget to get your name in for Payday Friday. And also don't forget to shout out and check out Vanquish. Remember, code Goonie20. Put that in at checkout to get 20% off. But with the market about to open, folks, what are your thoughts on the day? Is this a buy the dip opportunity on an intraday basis? I'm just talking about today. I'm not talking about a week from today, a month, or a year. I'm saying for today, from market open to market close, from 9:30 to 4 p.m. Are you buying this current dip? Or are you saying that the bears are about to get like real crazy with it? Are you bullish or bearish on this individual day from 9:30 to 4 p.m.? Luke is saying flat. I don't think we're getting a flat day. Obviously, it's possible, but I think there's just too much angst in the overall situation. I think there's a little bit too much angst. You know what? We should bring up the VIX, and we should also bring up Bitcoin here. The SPY and the Qs are flirting with disaster. Remember those the odds from Edgeful that if we do snap this low value, there's a 75% chance that we close the day below the previous closing value, which the previous closing value is really not that close. So I guess that should be considered. But you can already see, yeah, things are about to get a little bit nuts. Red this week, green into inauguration. Bears are waking up. Red, not enough for a dip. Bears, I think we go green, big green. That sounds like a prediction, son. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Yeah, it's fun to throw them out. I mean, I don't necessarily think we should trade off of predictions, but get ready. We have about 30 seconds to go. Bear, I didn't drop enough on Friday morning. All bearish, buy the dip, slow but steady spiral down. Bullish, personally, it's going to go down like a cheap tie hooker. Bearish, bullish. You guys, how do you sign up for Payday Friday? Follow the thing pinned to the top of chat. Ask the mod. It should not be that hard. There's a bunch of links. Look in the description. Look at the thing pinned to the top of chat. It's all over the place. Ask other people in chat. They'll help you, but it's not that difficult to track down in all reality. It is not that difficult to track down. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. Welcome to the world's largest casino. Today's going to be a wild day, so play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Remember, you're not taking any of it with you when you go. And right out of the gate, we're making a beeline to the low value of last trading session. I'm talking 585.20. I'm talking 510. Oh, golly. Let me switch over to the 5 second just so we can get a more So the Mag 7 is flat. The index is getting pummeled out of the gate. But once again, we literally only have seconds worth of data. I am still in my short position, and I am still down on my short position. But I have a sneaky suspicion that today is still going to work out for me, because don't forget that I am the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. Out of the gate, I am watching this trend line, this upward sloping trend line on the SPY and the Qs. So we just took out the low value on the SPY. We just took out the previous low value on the Qs, and now we are testing that trend line. So yes, a bearish vomit to a slow grind to the upside, and it looks like that slow grind support is vomiting as VIX is picking up. Volatility in the lower right of your screen is picking up. Rut-row spaghettios. We might as well. The Russell had a major breakdown already. The Russell right here on your screen, snapping huge support at 218. And remember, the pre-market low is 216.84. The SPY pre-market low is 582.44. And the Q pre-market low is 508 flat. I'm expecting a lot of whipsaw. I'm expecting a lot of insanity. And I'm expecting the VIX to keep cooking. So we're watching this. I have alerts at the low. Did I properly mark this out? Here, I'll throw these marks on the screen just so you can see it a little bit easier. All right, I'm going to make these blue just so you know it's not the previous low. I'm going to make these blue just once again. So I'm trying to cut back on any confusion. Let's see if this is a real breakdown. So both the SPY and the Qs are retesting kind of this downward or the upward sloping line and also the previous low. Let's see if it can recapture, or let's see if it's going to just get smashed. Obviously, a key watch here is volatility. It's really tough, in my humble opinion, to make decisions this early just because there could be so much whipsaw. Obviously, you could watch a bit of the options trend, which the bets on the index are not good. Not good. No one's touching calls. People are purchasing 0 DTE puts. Calls are flat. 0 DT puts are being bought out of the gate, or, well, now they're kind of flat, but they were being purchased for the first minute. So there was some apprehension. But what's interesting is the bets on the index are turning around. Puts were being purchased, but then they're being closed out on the Mag 7. So obviously we're going to keep watching this and check the overall delta flow. Be careful. Be careful. Scrappy dappy do. I'm watching if vol gets above 20, that's not good. If it starts to push like 22, 24, it means we're probably in for a pretty serious sell-off of a type of a day. So I'm watching VIX over here, which, remember, this is the volatility of the S&P 500. Just dropped a little bit there as the market's kind of popping up a bit. So maybe a little fake out breakdown we got going. We have everything moving $1 like it's hot butter. We're getting big swings like it's a job today. Right. We might as well mark out these lows just to know, to get a vibe of the overall trend. The index bouncing a little bit at 933. The Mag 7 bouncing right at 931. For me and my trading style, I don't think this is like enough data to really go off of quite yet. I know there is that like little voice in your head, like, I got to trade, I got to throw a trade on now. I find more often than not that if I ignore that voice and just wait, and like for the exact setups that I want anyway, generally I'm better, which is tantamount to me saying, or it's a long-winded way of me saying, just wait. I do see vol getting hit. VIX hit from 1920 down to 1880, but looks like the SPY and the Qs are coming to kiss their previous low once again. Watch this 931 low, 584 and 509. I am managing a lot of positions right now that are not, I don't know, I just have like a pit in my stomach with today. I have a pit in my stomach. How is today going to go? SPY in the top left, NASDAQ in the bottom left, the Russell in the top right, VIX in the bottom right. We have Tesla that is trying to get a bit of recovery. Tesla is actually in the green, so hats off to Tesla. On the other side, NVIDIA is getting murked. So we might as well watch Tesla, because it does seem like, obviously, the market seems to say, whoa, overall market sucks, but we like this announcement of the Model Y. But I'm worried that if the SPY and the Qs puke and NVIDIA is puking, and Microsoft is puking and Apple is puking, it'll be very difficult for Tesla to have a successful day. Just because of its ties to the overall market. The SPY and the Qs are once again testing the trend line, and they are below their low value from last trading session. Generally not a good sign. Of course, there are some counterexamples of recoveries, but generally not a good sign. At this point, we can say with 75% accuracy that we will close the day on the SPY below 589.49, and we will close the day out, once again, with 75% accuracy, we could say this, that the Qs will close the day out below 515.27. So just want to give you those numbers, and we know that those numbers are real from Edgeful and the fact that in the first minute of the day, we did pierce the previous low. So right now we're kind of getting that jockey for position. We're not really getting that first major impulse of the day. We're not really seeing market makers kind of restructure their positions quite yet. But I have a feeling if we have just a little bit of patience and just wait this out, we're going to be able to see like the first big impulse. And I'm talking about the trading session. Of course, we had the first big impulse already at 8:30, but you could see from opening from 9:30 to 9:36, first 6 minutes are more so choppy. We're not seeing that one big mega bar, and I feel like it's coming. I don't know when it's coming. Based on my current positions, I hope it's to the downside because that's how I'm personally currently positioned. But if I need to cut my position and switch long, obviously I will. Speaking of my position, I'm down about $400 per account right now. I'm short at 21,104. We'll call it 105. And I was almost back to break even, and then it just bounced against me. And there's nothing really too special about this profit target that you're currently seeing on the screen at 21,029. This is just the max profit I'm willing to take with my prop accounts due to their consistency rules. Generally, when I trade my own accounts, as in not someone else's money with all their other rules, I like trend following. So if it tips below that, I would prefer to just keep riding it. So there's nothing really too special about 21,029. It's not like I have some magic formula saying we're going to bounce there or anything like that. It's literally just the way that I make $1,500 per account. That's the math for me to make $1,500, which means if it hits, I will be up about 30 grand. So I'm playing that. And then speaking of accounts and trades, I am swinging some puts. I've been in these puts for about a week, and I'm currently up of $11,700. I'm down on Tesla, but I'm up on Q, SPY, and the Russell. So we'll come back and check in on that bad mamma jamma. But the thing that I'm concerned with right now is this one of if I should be protecting myself or not. I was down quite a bit. I was down $1,200 per account. Now I'm up, and if I can catch this trend, and if I can catch it nicely, I will be putting in a stop for break even, just so I have a free lotto trade. That's probably, in my opinion, the best way, especially in like particular situations like this, where like whipsaw can just be happening. Like when it goes a certain amount in your favor, why not just put in a stop at break even, especially on futures trading where you can trade as much as you want. There's no pattern day trading. If you get knocked out, whatever, no harm, no foul. And then on the flip side, if you have a lottery ticket that hits, you have a lottery ticket that hits and you really didn't take on any risk. Hi, is buying the dip worth it, or do you think it'll go down a lot more? It depends what you're talking about and what time frame you're on. This concept of like, should I buy the dip right now? I don't know what you're looking to buy the dip on. I don't know what your duration is. I don't know your account size. I don't know if you're playing options. I don't know if you're playing stock. I don't know if you're playing crypto. I don't know if you know how to hedge. That's an immense amount of questions that I would have to have the answer to accurately answer that. Like, folks, I'm not trading your account. I'm showing you how I'm trading my account. I hope in me trading my own account, you can learn a thing or two, whether from it's my successes or more importantly, you probably learn a lot more from my failures. But I'm not here to trade your account at all. Like it would be impossible for me to trade your account because I don't know anything about your risk tolerance. I don't know anything about your personality. I don't know anything about your goals. I don't know anything about how you view the market. I don't know anything about the time frame of your trading. It's just like literally we're all here to trade our own account with our own background because we all personally know those answers to our own questions. But for someone else just to be like, yeah, you should buy, there's certain people who buying right now is the perfect move for them and their system and their risk tolerance and their goals. There's other people who right now selling right now, and there's other people who doing nothing right now is the right answer. And they're all right for them. This isn't a binary world of doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing. There's a lot of other things that have to be taken into account as I say that. And I'm really just trying to chit chat to the point that I just don't get completely boned here on this. We got a little double bottom here at 21,070. Are we going to crack again? I'm in a very fast moving 100 tick chart. What is Apex saying now? What do you mean Apex saying? I don't know what you mean by that. Saying about what? All I can tell you is I'm currently short myself. I've been short since that the market had a very poor reaction. All right. We just got a random bounce here at 9:41, 10 minutes into the day. Bears in control. Random little bounce. Let's see if the options market here. I set an alert for fresh lows just so we know, just in case there's a breakdown when I'm not paying attention. But the delta is getting destroyed right now. This is a very dangerous time for anyone on a 0 DTE basis to be buying the dip because the options market's not agreeing with you at all. It dropped, it went flat, dropped again. It's just getting hammered. It's getting absolutely hammered right now. So if you are a person saying, no, I want to buy the 0 DT dip, well, wait for the selling to stop. Wait for some buyers to step in, because all I'm seeing right now, not only is the price action making lower highs and lower lows, but the options market, what are we actually seeing? No one's touching calls. Everyone appears to be buying 0 DTE puts. No one is touching calls right now. That's a very, very dangerous time to be trying to buy the dip when there's just no action on the call market. Once again, this is all for the S&P 500. And then if we look at the Mag 7, it's a lot more choppy, a lot more of a confusing story because some people are selling calls. People were selling puts. So there was call selling and there was put selling. And then all of a sudden, people started buying puts and people started buying calls. So the call and the put movement on the Mag 7 is moving inverse of each other. So that's a really confusing story. But the clear story is on the index itself, just getting hammered, getting absolutely hammered. So the SPY just made a fresh low. The Qs did not. Tesla is actually holding its own. It's like the only green thing on my watch list right now, which if you're curious why that's green and everything else is red, it's because of the announcement of the new Model Y, obviously being received very, very well by the market. I do want to check in. The small cap sector is recovering to 218. Interesting. How is the flow? I would say it is paramount to continue to watch the options flow today. Paramount. All right, we have Tesla. We'll put Tesla there. Tesla just barely going red right now. We have NVIDIA down 3%, Palantir down 3%, Microsoft down 1%, Apple down 1.5%. There's a lot of red on this watch list. If I zoom out from this 8:30 announcement, if you're just joining in now and you're like, why is everything so bad? It's because at 8:30, we got the unemployment report that, as you could tell, the market did not react favorably to. What I find concerning out of the gate is we did not find support at this upward sloping trend line that we created between 8:35 and 9 a.m. So we snapped that trend line. And in doing that, we also snapped the low from Wednesday, which was the last trading session. So pretty much from market open, we see lower highs and lower lows. And that price action is also being supported by options. Options are getting annihilated. If you don't know what this is called spot gamma. And the white line is the price of the S&P 500, the actual SPX. And this is the price over here on the left axis. On the right axis, you have the delta notional value, which if you don't know what delta is, that's the measurement of what's happening in options. Is the options going up? That's positive delta. Are the options going down? That's negative delta. So it's a measurement of bullish and or bearish actions in the options market. So we see price and options agreeing of top left to bottom right, just kind of getting hit thus far. Obviously, we've seen crazier recoveries, but I do also want to add the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, and the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on the SPY, the Qs, and the Russell. It's all bearish. All these EMAs, we're all in a bearish trending pattern as of now, and that's all you could do. All you can do at any moment in time is base your trade of like right now, who do you think's in control, bulls or bears? Do you like the risk reward? Do you like the probabilities? And if that's all yes, great, take a shot at it. Obviously respect your risk and be very careful about your sizing on any given day. But today is a day that you should have especially careful sizing. You got to be real careful about your sizing today because we are already getting sizable moves. I'm kind of surprised with this bounce right here. I thought the Qs were going to get really smashed when it gave up 585. Just kind of looking at some of this longer duration stuff, there isn't like a oh fuck moment if the Qs break 508, which is $1.50 away. There's that similar uh-oh moment if the SPY breaks 582.50, which is about $2 and change away. So not that close, but things could get pretty saucy. Remember, this was my first target. In pre-market trading, when I was doing this entire breakdown for you, I told you my first downside target was 5,860. First upside target, if the bulls regain control, is 5,900. Remember, if this does snap, if it snaps, remember, these are all if-then statements. If event A happens, I think this bullish scenario could play out. If event B happens, I think this bearish scenario could play out. So really, you should always have a bull and a bear scenario. In the bear scenario, if 5,860 does not hold, which it looks like it's about to be retested, then I'm watching 5,845. If 5,845 doesn't hold, I think there's a real chance that we could actually be talking about 5,800 today. I know that's far away. I know that's a crazy thing to say. And I'm not even saying it necessarily happens like quickly, but 5,800 becomes a very real topic of conversation. Sorry, have not had enough coffee, that you got to pay attention to. One thing I did want to look at was Coinbase, because I saw Coinbase was seemingly breaking down 2%. Interesting. Interessante, Batman. Interessante. And now Tesla's even giving it up. I'm watching watch Tesla at 387.40. If it just fades all that positive news that it already had, it looks like we're snapping. All right, here's my trade. I'm still in my trade. I'm up currently $1,000 on all 20 accounts. So I'm up about 20K. I'm going for 30K. That is my max profit target on the day. I'm going for 30K. And since I have 20 accounts, that's 1.5K on each account. And I'm not that far away. I got into this right after the unemployment report came out and the market did not react well. I've been holding it ever since about 8:32. So I've been in this trade for about an hour and 15 minutes. And I just locked that bad mama jamma in, folks. 30K money gone. Yeah. Am I celebrating as the world is financially imploding? You know it, sister. I just made $30,000. Of course I'm celebrating. That's what you do when you're the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. Folks, I am the markets. I am the market maker. I print money. Call me daddy, pal, because I'm printing money out of thin air. No one does it like this. No one does it like this. Dude, actually, I think I have something for you guys. Hang on. Everyone, wait. I think I have something. My producer sent me this. Hang on. Where is it?
Oh, you still trading on a free app? Damn, that's cute. Yeah. Out here flexing on some paper gains like that's loot. You ain't got it. I pull 6 figs before I'm even out of bed. What you got? You're back holding options that are damn near dead. You see me rolling in the bed, you wonder how. Why you selling your soul for a couple hundred now? I'm stacking chips, flipping options like it's a game. Too easy. You're out here chasing dreams, man, you're lame. I see you panic, selling, stressing, praying for a bounce. Desperate. Meanwhile, I just shorted and I'm stacking big amounts. You're refreshing your screen, wiping sweat off your face. Good. I just bought another watch just to fuck with my pace. You're broke, I'm up, we ain't the same. Yeah, you know it. You trade for survival, I trade for the game. What's that? You flexing 100, that's minimum wage. Shit, for real. I just made your whole salary, now back to my trades. Get that money, stack it high, don't play. Yeah, run it. I'll make more in a minute than you make in a day. Flipping stocks while you're stuck in your grind. I'm out here balling, you just falling behind. Watch me rise, you just sit and complain. Watch me, I'm in the fast lane, stuck in the rain. I'm cashing in moves while you're out here just waiting. Still waiting, get your money right, or or keep on just hating. Oh, you bought some calls, man, that's cute, you're still a rookie. Yeah, you know I'm out here making 6 figs while you acting all looky. You chasing that pump, thinking you're on top. You ain't fooling no way. But I'm shorting your whole portfolio, watch it drop. You trying to flip pennies, but your game is weak. Weak as hell. I'll make moves that make your whole account look bleak. So sad. You out here acting like you know the game, looking lost. But you're buying
The Spy and Q's both. There's money everywhere.
You're stuck holding bags while I'm living life fast. You buy at the peak, now you crying for a dip. Meanwhile, I'm stacking bags.
There's just $100 bills all over the place. Sorry, I was standing on it. My bad. It happens to me all the time.
I'm the grown man. I'm blowing up the market. You're just another clown. While you fighting for crumbs, I'm breaking it down. You're broke, I'm up, we ain't the same. Yeah. You trade for survival, I trade for the game. What's up? You flexing 100, that's minimum wage. For bro, I just made your whole salary, now back to my trades. Get that money, stack it high, don't play.
All right, the Spy and the Q's both hit their pre-market low. Not a good sign, Tonto. All right, I'm resetting up the alerts for the intraday low. The Spy's actually, or the Russell's catching a better bid than I thought it would.
Keep on just hating.
Options flow bouncing a little bit starting at 948, but price is not reacting well to it. Mag 7 is getting annihilated. Folks, this, if you want to buy the dip, go do it, but do it when it's smart. It's not smart now because the sellers aren't done. The buyers aren't stepping in. As a retail trader, the chance that you're a person actually influencing price and the market, no, like remember, it's the whales who move the market. Don't arbitrarily buy the dip when price is just getting destroyed. Lower highs, lower lows. There's no sign of a reversion when options are getting destroyed. Folks, don't buy, like, you're not the person gonna be picking the bottom. As much as you think you're me, you're not. All right? You're not the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. I'm the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. So with that in mind, if I'm not trying to buy the dip, what's the chance of you getting the dip right? Do not try to buy the dip, folks. To just sit there and be like, nope, this is as low as we go. It's so idiotic. Like, especially if there's no signs of reversion. If you're like, you know what? I have some support I'm going to play off of. I see maybe on the shorter time frame, some higher highs, some higher lows. Maybe you see some positive options flow coming in. Okay, cool. Maybe you get lucky on that. But just to do it arbitrarily, especially when you realize that price is showing no reversion, options are showing no reversion, you're a crazy person. You're a crazy person. If you want to degenerately take advantage of this, that's what you're using something like Vanquish for. That's when you want to start slinging someone else's money like Vanquish. Once again, code Goonie20. It ends today. If you want to trade options with someone else's money and do it for cheap right now, this is the last day of this deal. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video, Goonie20, Goonie20. This is the last day of the 20% off code. And just so you guys know, at 10:30, we are doing a Payday Friday giveaway. If you've never been involved in it, I can see we have a lot of new viewers in here today. First of all, welcome. This is the top degenerate live trading show ever known to the galaxy, where most of the time I make bad trades, but once in a while I make good trades. We're giving away $150 cash, and we're also giving away 3 of these Vanquish accounts. So ask a mod, ask people in chat of how you can enter, but we're picking 3 people off of locals, 1 person off of Rumble, 1 person off of YouTube. Those 5 people will complete in a blistering fast marbles race. The 3 people selected off of locals will be getting a Vanquish account, and the winner of the race will be getting $150 of cold hard cash. Once again, we're going to be doing that at 10:30 today, so in about half an hour. And the SPY is not looking good. My trades are up about $16,000. So 16K on my swing account, and then obviously 30K on my futures account. Look at these bad mamma jammas, up 70. So I'm up 22,000 after taking out 4. So all these accounts are up actually $76,000, which means, let me show you this. How disgusting is this? Trade performance. I'll show you guys my trade performance. I'll show you what's what and who's who. When did I start these accounts? I don't know. So these are all 20 of my accounts? Nope. Is it even earlier than that? How far back does this go? When did I start trading these accounts? I am up $556,000 since the start of these accounts. Obviously, I have 20 of them. So if you want to know per account how much I'm up, you divide that number by 20. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of small, but this number says $557,000. I've made $166,000 off going long, and I've made $391,000 off of going short. My trades are 67% accurate, as I'm right 2 out of 3 trades. And the number of trades, you divide that by 20. Once again, this is 20 accounts. So it might be easier if we just look at one account. This is probably a little bit more insightful. And then instead of dividing by 20, you would just multiply all these numbers by 20. So I'm up $27,000 on one account, 75% accurate. 56 winning trades, 17 losing trades, 1 break-even trade. My Sharp ratio is 0.7. That's not so good, but my profit factor is 3.24. So for every dollar I spend, it's returning $3.24. That's interesting. Max consecutive winning trades, 14, losing 10. That must have been a rough day. Average trades per day, 2.68. Average time in the market, 45 minutes. Profit per month, 20, just over 20 grand. Max time to recover, 4 days. Maximum 600, 800. Interesting. It's always nice to look at your own metrics. What's kind of cool is I'm as accurate with long as I am short. I'm right 74% of the time when I'm long, and I'm right 77% of the time when I'm short. So roughly the same for going long or short. But when I'm right, I'm making a lot more money going short. On one account, I made 20 grand going short and only 7 grand going long. So even though I have the same accuracy on both long and short, it looks like I'm better at catching the sell-offs. So we're going to see how that actually goes. But just a little bit of a breakdown. And obviously, to stop myself from being my degenerate self, the best thing I could do when it comes to prop trading is shut it down after I have the trades that I want. So that's exactly what I'm doing there, which then frees me up to make more of my own options trades, which I was trying to wait till 10 a.m. I really don't like doing options trades before 10. I just find that I have much better success if I wait for the opening session. And it looks like that's exactly what is currently happening. Right here. I'm waiting. We're close enough. We'll call it, we'll round up. We'll round up and basically say that it is, in fact, all right, we're at my second target. Look how magical those targets are. We come down to 5,860. We bounce off of it. We vomit right to my second level of 5,845. And remember, like I said, if 5,845 does not hold, I think that we might be talking about 5,800 flat today. And let's see. Let's see. All right. Am I ready over here? It's basically 10. I was waiting for 10 a.m. to get in some of my options trades. I was trying to be patient. All right. I have my account. Today is the 10th. Hang on. All right. 5,840. Right. I want to buy these market. All right. Oop, actually, that is my trigger. Go. All right. I just bought some puts. Strike 5,840. I'm in at 1640. What do I want? 1,000, 2,000, 1,000. So 1640. So I kind of want out at maybe 1740, 17, maybe 90. I'm going to put that order in limit. Where are we at? 1790. All right, there. Locked it in. $1,650. You saw it all done live. SPX puts locked in $1,650 right there. Literally all live. You saw me peek at this, say, oh, looks like there's about a bit of a breakdown coming. Obviously, in trend, I got lucky with options getting completely vomited on. But right there, $1,650 locked in. Bada bing, bada boom. You know what they say? $1,000 a day keeps the doctor away. $1,000 a day keeps the doctor away. So I successfully, once again, fought off doctors today. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Obviously, this is a 50K account from Vanquish. They have a bunch of different size accounts. So if you want to trade with less risk, as in your risk is just buying the account, and then other than that, they're taking on the risk. Right now, you could get 20% off all the accounts, Goonie 20. If you're an options trader and figuring out your option system, maybe earlier or mid in your career, and you just want to trade with someone else's money to lower your own risk, Vanquish is the place to do it, especially for option trading. And obviously, Goonie 20 gets you 20% off, and they're the sponsor of today's Payday Friday giveaway. And we just hit lows, and we are folks, I'm laying these levels out to you perfectly. I don't know what more I can do on this side of the camera to assist you guys in making better high risk or high reward to low risk trades. I told you, level 1, recovery. If level 1 doesn't hold, you're looking at level 2. We shot to level 2. If level 2 doesn't hold, we're looking for level 3. What else can I possibly do? I am like literally force feeding you perfect call outs. I am shoving perfect call outs down your throat, whether you like it or not. I don't know what else I could do, folks. Here I am. I'm putting the entire market on my back. The amount of squats I have to do at the gym just to like carry this entire market, it's crazy, folks. And yet, here I am, and you guys are like, you're just one. You're still one. There's still people wondering if I'm in fact the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Like 6, I would say. I would say about 6. 6. Yeah, that's my final answer. 6. How is my swing account? Remember, I have a day trading account, a futures account, and a swing account. Here's my swing account. I'm up 22K and cruising for a fucking bruising, brother. All right, we don't need that. We don't really need that. I shouldn't have shut that down. No, stop. Hey, stop. Hey, you stop that. Remember when I said we're breaking down the oh fuck level? Well, you better call your grandma and tell her that you love her, because we did, in fact, break that oh fuck level, which means the next stop on SPY is 576.74. We're at the oh fuck level right now on the Qs. Next stop is 502. I would say 502 is kind of key there. And we snapped the oh fuck level on the Russell, which means the next stop on that bad mamma jamma is around 215. And then past that, we have 212.78. So if you're looking at SPY Qs Russell, those are key levels. Tesla snapped its low. I would say watch 580 and then 380 this breakout on Friday the 3rd. So I'm watching 380 followed by 373 on NVIDIA. We're coming up to the breakdown level at the high 133s. Past that, I'd be watching 130. Palantir's already breaking down. MSTR not looking so good. Microsoft actual breakdown. Next level to watch is 414.85. Apple also breaking down. Probably next level to watch is closer to 235. Rumble breaking down. Hopefully it can find itself right around 10, maybe 970. DJT is actually going flat. Broadcom's breaking down. Next level to watch is 218. Meta is also breaking down. Next level to watch is closer to 596, or that key level at 600. It's at 602 right now. ASML is actually not doing much. Amazon's breaking down. Next watch on Amazon is the gap fill at 214. Google, maybe 190, maybe 187. Coin, I'm so tempted to buy coin puts. Do I want to do it? Do I want to do it? Coin flip simulator. Okay, Heads, I buy coin puts. Tails, I do not buy coin puts. The market gods have spoken. The market gods have spoken. It's about time I buy some coin puts. I wish I could say that there was more of a hardcore trading thesis going into this, but sometimes you just have to let Lady Luck tell you what to do. Sometimes you just have to let Lady Luck tell you what in the hell is going on. All right. We're going to buy some of those. We're going to buy some of those. Here, if you're in the Discord, I'll let you know the strike and the expiration. Let me just take a quick screenshot. Folks, if you thought that there was like a lot more strategy and like quant stuff going into this, there isn't. Most of my trades are, in fact, decided by a coin flip. It's my secret to dominating the market. This might surprise you folks, but you really just need to have like a lucky coin. I think that's actually the best way to be successful in the market is you can't be using an unlucky coin. You, in fact, want to be using a very lucky coin. Meat Eater. Matt would call us stupid for a half hour if we did this. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Try it. We'll find out. I would call you stupid if you didn't have a lucky coin, obviously. Duh. But if you had a lucky coin, if you're like, no, actually, this is like a super, super, super lucky coin, then I would say that's pretty smart. Like, I have a lucky coin. I used it. I don't know what else. I need Revivian to recover next week. Probably not going to happen, Brian. Probably not going to happen. Good luck, though. Good freaking luck. All right, I need some alerts on coin now that the coin flip gods have... Isn't that funny that I use a coin to decide if I should trade coin? I find the irony in it. Maybe you guys don't, but I thought it was funny. But that's just me. Anything to keep the lulls alive. The market is the opposite of bullish. The options market is getting murked. The Mag 7 options are getting murked. Price is lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We're riding this trend down and down and down and down. Matt also made a lot of money today. He can burn a little bit on coin puts. You know, even though I made like a shitload of money because I'm the best trader on this side of the Mississippi, I think the real value I gained was in digital friendship. You know, call me old fashioned, but I think what we should really measure a day in is friendship. And I think we all won a lot of friendship points today. We got some new viewers in here and they didn't, unbeknownst to them, they made a bunch of degenerate gambling friends. Like there's probably people who woke up, kind of opened up their eyes, had a cup of coffee, and they're like, I wonder what's going on in the internet today. And little did they know that they just fell into a rabbit hole of the most degenerate gambling traders that they could have ever found. They thought that they might have found like a normal person with normal goals, and they found us. Little do they know that they just already peaked in life, and now that they came into our community, it is nothing but downhill. You know? Little do they know that the best is behind them. You know? Thanks a lot for your knowledge and humor. Morgan, thank you for those kind words. Why do their voice squeak? Why does my voice squeak? I think it's because I'm going through puberty. I have only had one nut fall, and that happened at like the age of 13. The other nut has been lodged in my pelvis for the past, really the better part of 2 decades. We're going on about 17 years now. The doctor says it's a medical mystery. You know? They, when I die, they actually want to sell my reproduction organs to the Smithsonian because they've never seen a case like this, like a half puberty thing. It's kind of crazy. I know. Yeah. Yep. Just my cross to bear. My cross to bear. They called me one nut for all of high school. That and loser, but it was because we were friends. They're like, here comes that one-nutted loser. Get punched in the stomach, it will fall. Is that your medical advice, AA, Ron? Is to fix it? To fix my one nut, your medical advice is to get punched in the stomach? And they called me Uno. That was my Spanish friends. My Spanish-speaking friends called me Uno. Yeah, just a little bit about me. A little bit about how I am and who I am. It's my crotch to bear. That's a really good one, Mitch. Matt, the one nut wonder course. Oh, it's so easy to have fun when you're making so much fucking money. Dude, my emotions are highly tied to how much money I make in a given day. And if I lost all this money, I would be yelling at all of you. I would be having a fucking tantrum. I would fire my producer. I would divorce my wife. I would delete my channel. I would call my mom and yell at her. It would be a bad day. And instead, I'm letting you guys know about my most severe insecurities ever and how my, dude, for real, dude, not a joke. All right. Not a joke at all. But as we're talking about people calling me Uno, my first friend ever, his name was Timmy Rodriguez. And I think at the age of like 4 or 5, he moved to Texas. So if any of you ever know a Timothy Rodriguez in the state of Texas, there cannot be many. Well, maybe he's not in Texas anymore. If any of you know a Timothy Rodriguez who lived in the state of Texas around the year 2000, and if he maybe remembers in his youth having a one-nutted friend, tell him I miss him. Dude, I miss fucking Timmy. Dude, Timmy was my first friend ever. Timmy Rodriguez, fucking, I don't know what he's doing right now. He might be the president of a small island nation, or he might be in prison. I don't know. We lost touch. He was we stopped talking when I was like 4 or 5. So if any of you, I don't think there could be many Timothy Rodriguez's in Texas. So I think if we just siphon through all of them in the year 2000, was he in a wheelchair? Not when I left him. Not when, I didn't leave him. He left me. Fucking he's the one who left me. And that's when I first started to not trust humans. My best friend, Timmy, he fucked me over by his mom getting a new job in Texas. I also remember at the time, I thought Texas had different money and I was really upset. I was like, Mom! And my mom's like, why are you so upset? And she thought I was upset that Timmy was leaving, and I was upset Timmy was leaving. But in my little kid brain, and still a little bit of my adult brain, I thought Texas had different money. And I was like, they don't have Texas money. They're not going to be able to buy anything. And at that time, I was really jazzed about the concept of buying SpaghettiOs. And I know this sounds like a non-linear story, but this is a completely true story. You could ask my mom about it. So I was like, how are they going to buy SpaghettiOs? They don't have Texas money. And I still to this day don't know how Tim Rodriguez ever bought SpaghettiOs in Texas when he moved there in like roughly the year 2000. So if you come across Tim Rodriguez, give him a can of SpaghettiOs from me. Give him a can of SpaghettiOs for old Uno for old time's sake, you know? And also, this brings up a question that I probably should have answered at some point in my life. Does Texas have different money? I'm a little too old and I'm a little too afraid to ask it now. But seriously, does Texas have different money? Or... Yeah. No. Yes. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to ask. I feel like I should have figured that out at some point in my life, but that's just a little bit of insight to me and why I am the way I am. It's just at the young age of 4 years old, when your heart is ripped out because your best friend leaves to the other side of the fucking world. And no one, she got a great new job with all these personnel. You know what, Mrs. Rodriguez? Did you ever fucking consider my feelings in this? That's the day I started not trusting moms, when I realized that they didn't always have the best intent in their heart. Oh, great new job, great health care, great benefits, a great new future for little Timmy. What about fucking me? What about the fact that I lost my best friend? Did they take that into fucking account? Mrs. Rodriguez? Fucking. Dude, I'm going to find her one of these days and I'm going to give her a good talking to. Because I don't think she gave a shit about my feelings. So what if she finally was able to break out of a small rural town in PA where she didn't have much upside, especially because she was a minority in a predominantly white town? What about my feelings? I didn't see color at that time. I was a little toddler and all I knew was my best friend was being taken from me, ripped out of my hands, and they couldn't even buy SpaghettiOs. Fuck, dude. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Matt, check your Discord. You fucking check your Discord. I'm talking about Timmy. Timmy, if you're out there, buddy, I'm coming for you. I've never forgotten about you. I bet your mom hates you as much as she hated me. Fucking Tim. Dude, another real story. That was a completely real story. Another story about my life is I have an older sister. And my older sister had a friend who was one of the first people on 16 and Pregnant. Kind of makes me famous. I'm the brother of a sister who used to be friends with one of the first people on 16 and Pregnant. Pretty impressive. You guys didn't know I came from a litany of celebrity and fame, did you? Did ya? I'm just a famous dude. I've been surrounded by fame my entire life, whether it was Timmy Rodriguez with no SpaghettiOs or my sister's friend who was one of the first people on 60 and Pregnant. I blame the father. I don't think she had a father. I do remember, though, one time her mother came to my house because she was like, the sister was staying, or my sister's friend, this girl was staying with me, and her mom came to our house and like was piss drunk. And I thought she was sick because, once again, I was small and I thought she was acting funny. Or like, I was like, why is she so loony? And it turns out she was just like piss drunk. So she stayed with us for a couple weeks or months. I don't know, because when you're a kid, you have no real appreciation for time whatsoever. Hence the name One Nut Wonder. So are you secretly saying that you were 16 and pregnant? I was not 16 and pregnant. Maybe one of these days, though. If I try really hard, I might be able to make it work. But as of now, I am not 16 and pregnant. But as soon as I figure out how to change my biology and go back in time, I will let you know. Let you know. Tesla red again. Sad. Everything's red. The whole thing, the whole shebang is red. I don't even trade. I'm just here for the stories. These aren't stories. These are like the worst points of my life. They're not just like, these are arguably my biggest downfalls. Just my best friend Timmy getting ripped away. Dude. What I remember most about Timmy, not that anyone asked, but I just want to share it with you guys, is we both had just such an admiration for ice cream. Dude, Timmy would come over and Timmy and I would just fucking house ice cream. I think one of my core memories ever was one of my birthdays, and my birthday's in July. Write that down. Don't forget it. And he came over. It's a hot July day, and we just ate so much ice cream. We just sat there. We probably ate ice cream till we puked. I don't even know. But those were the days, man. Timmy would come over, and we would just crush Neapolitan. Dude, we'd get a little bit of that vanilla, a little bit of that chocolate, a little bit of that strawberry. My aunt would bake a cake, so we'd have ice cream and cake. Dude, those were the times until Mrs. Rodriguez fucking ruined it all. I'll never forgive her. I'll never forgive her. Spy reverse? Probably not. Actually, we do have a little bit of, I would assume, profit taking coming in. Longer dated profit taking coming in right here. There are some calls being purchased starting at 1017. A little bit of calls being bought, a little bit of puts being closed. Not crazy, not enough to think there's a full-fledged reversal. This might just be a bit of mean reversion leading to a dump, so I would just be waiting to see that out. The Mag 7 started to bounce at 1011. Started to turn back to the downside at 1019 though, so be careful on that. This just might end up being a dead cat bounce. I would not. When it comes to the world of buying the bounce, you generally don't want to do it on the first attempt. Generally, you have more manageable risk and more clarity on the situation by waiting for the retest and bouncing off of that. It's rare that you see just a hardcore V-shaped recovery. It's a bit more common to have more of that double bottom off of it, especially on the intraday. It could look way different on the daily bars, but on the intraday basis, trying to pick the bottom right when it's occurring on the short term, very hard. Generally, your odds increase on the second test where you have well-defined risk. You buy it as close to the line as you can. And if you're right, great. And then if you're wrong, you have a quick cut. So it's only a paper cut. And actually, if we start to turn back over, that's going to be my second trade of the day. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Let me get ready on this. I did one Vanquish trade already, and now I want to do another. 15. I'm looking at the 515s. 515s by 5 market. All right, I'm not doing it yet. I'm waiting for my signal. Basically, I'm waiting to see if we turn back down. I'm looking for this snap of like 522, 524, something like that. It depends on when it happens, honestly, even if it happens. But obviously, we started to bounce between the Mag 7, the tech sector bounced a little bit earlier at 1011. At least that's when the options came in. The options came in a bit more positive at 1017 on the S&P 500. I want to see how long-lived it is. Obviously, the market, I am very, very hesitant, and I would highly advise against buying this dip. Do what you want. I'm not your mom. I'm not Mrs. Rodriguez for sure. But whatever you want to do, have at it. But I don't see the point in trying to buy the dip today. I really don't. Dude, the Matt Kors show, Timmy is here. Timmy! I wish, dude. I wish. You know, the best friend that left me stabbed me in the heart. I remember it vividly. The day I never trusted moms again. That's the day the entire concept of moms just never believed in it again. Never. All right, what are we doing? We're bouncing early off my levels. I'm not liking that. Like I said, as soon as we snapped 5845, I thought there was a real chance of hitting 5,800. Once again, to look at these key levels, where do we bounce? We bounce, honestly, in no man's land. How low did we get? Wait, what was the low reading of the day? 5813. That's an awkwardly early bounce in my book. It would have been one thing if we bounced at like 05, 08, like somewhere kind of close, like roughly in this zone. But at 13, feels like the SPY still had a whole dollar to go in all reality. Maybe we're retesting a level and then we vomit. Maybe it's a whole Nike swoosh recovery. The small cap sector is trying to save itself from disaster. But remember, the snap of 218 is not good and we're still below it. We're still below it. I see a lot of red. If you want to see something scary, check this out. Check this out. This is the heat map of the S&P 500. Looks like there's a little bit of green in the world of healthcare, but that's about it. If you want to see the healthcare sector, look up XLV. That is the healthcare subsector of the S&P 500, or XLE, which is the energy subsector, which is actually looking pretty decent right now. But tech is getting destroyed. Consumer cyclicals, finance, communication, industrials. Healthcare's up, XLV, energy's up, XLE, and that makes sense because, I mean, we're seeing oil rip like no other. Oil's been on a nice one. Here's a look at healthcare. Oops, XLV. doing way better than all the other sectors today. UNH, I think, said was in the green. Yeah, UNH recovering. To be fair, though, not long ago got absolutely murdered. So this little green day doesn't really undo all this insanity. The SPY is bouncing off of that OF zone at 580.50. If we're above it, it has a little bit of a fighting chance. But remember, the longer we stay below 50.80.50, 580.50, which we're about $1 above or 50 cents above it right now. Remember, downside gap fill target is 576.74. Mark that out on your chart. On the Qs, we're right above the OF level at 505.75. If that doesn't hold, we're talking about 502. And then on the Russell, we're actually below the oh shit level at 218. And the longer we stay below it, yes, there's the upside gap fill to 219, but I'm still paying attention to 214.50. So IWM small cap 214.50, the Qs 502, and the SPY I'm talking 576.74. Those are all kind of my like downside reach targets for the day, and that all happens if this bounce fails. We've been bouncing from about 1010 to about 1025. I don't think that this bounce holds. I'm throwing out a prediction. And I don't like to predict. If anything, I would react and what I would be looking to react to. And that's what I'm getting ready for. That's why my trade's like all queued up here and everything. I'd be waiting for basically this uptrend to fail. If it doesn't fail, okay, my trade is never going to be executed. That's fine. So I do think it fails and I'm prepared to play it, but I'm still waiting for my entry. Just because I arbitrarily think something's going to happen and I'm throwing out a wild prediction, I am not trading on it until I actually see like good reason to get into it. So, I mean, opinions and predictions are as good as basically nothing because we all have them. What matters is actually price development, options movement. So I'm waiting to see if things align for me to take advantage of it. If they do align, great, I'll take advantage of it. But then there's also the chance that they don't align and I'm just here. Check my super chats. I don't even see any. Matt, miss you too. Timothy Rodriguez here for 40 months, dude. I miss you. I don't even trade, just here for the stories. I thought I read that one. Those are the only two I see. I'm sorry if I missed it. I guess contact Chaos, my mod. Who is this other trader on the other side of the Mississippi? It's me on a bad day. I'm the best trader on both sides of the Mississippi. I just happen to be on the east side of it right now. So it is technically accurate to say I'm the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. But really, it doesn't matter if I'm on the right, the left, the top, the bottom. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm in the Mississippi. I'd be the best trader there. That's just how. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. How do you think DJ stock will do over the next week? I think it's an interesting watch because of the inauguration, which you got to watch DJT, which the largest equity investor or owner of that is Trump, and Trump's inauguration is on the 20th. So I think it's going to be fun to watch. I have no particular prediction because this has never happened before. We've never had a company, a publicly traded company, who's being run by the guy who's about to be sworn into office. So since we have nothing to base it off of, I have no prediction. I just think it's going to be an interesting watch because I think crazy things could happen. For sure. For sure. Faux show. We are going to get rocking with the Payday Friday giveaway, folks. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to do exactly what all these people already did on Locals, mattcoors.locals.com. I emailed it to everyone. 99 of you, 100 of you have already figured out how to sign up. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a person off of Rumble, a person off of YouTube, 3 people off of Locals. Those 5 people will be competing in a marbles race. The winner of the race is getting $150 cold hard cash. I will send it to you today. That's why I need your contact information just to be able to send you the money. And then the 3 people picked off of Locals will also be getting one of these Vanquish accounts. Is exactly what I traded on today. And I'm kind of waiting for another opportunity to trade on it. But the reversion, I'm maybe wondering if we get smashed here at 5845. This is a bigger bounce than I anticipated for sure. Yeah, options really started to turn at 1013. I still kind of think it gets smashed, but the longer this goes on, the less confident I am in that it might just be an actual bullish reversion. The SPY wicked through this key level. The Qs wicked through this key level. the Russell wick through a key level, and they're all kind of catching a little bit of a bullish bid right now, but I still think it gets faded. I do. Where's the 15 second? I do. I guess I'll set an alert on that because that's what I want to play my next ones off of. Actually, this bounce was way more than I thought it would be. Way more than I thought it would be. All right, I'm ready just in case. Should I just do it now? Doesn't feel right. I feel like that's being a little bit too greedy of me. I see prices calming down, but options aren't. I really like when everything is in alignment. So when I say everything in alignment, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bearish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour all bearish. Great. So the price movement is in my favor. In the shorter time frame, I want to see this snap. But then I also not only want to see a very short-term breakdown, so the short-term going back into alignment with like the time frames larger than that one, but I also want to see options tilt, and I am not seeing options tilt whatsoever. We might be getting there. It looks like maybe these call buyers are getting exhausted. So looking at the Mag 7, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla, some longer dated call buying started at 1020 seems to be stopping right now. And also the put selling seems to be stopping. What about here? So even though it's slowing down on the Mag 7, it doesn't appear to be slowing down on the S&P 500. No one's really touching 0 DTE puts. People are holding those, but call buying did start right here at 1017. People are buying 0 DTE calls. So if they stop that calling, and then if they start monetizing those calls, that's when I'm looking for the next drop. I'm waiting for the 0 DTE call buyers to start to monetize, which actually might. Fuck it. We're ripping it. I'm ripping it. You know? We're ripping it. I'm in at $11. All right. So I want to get out at 13. Oh, 13. All right. My order is in. My order's in. I'm up 50, basically break even. I'm a little early, but I'm thinking if we pull back, I should be A-okay. Is this one going to hit? Up 25, 25, 100, 25, down 25. It's hanging around break even. It's hanging around break even. I thought we would tilt. Nope. We're continuing back up. I really thought we were going to play it down here, showing a little bit of strength. Maybe it gets smacked at 5845. I knew I was early. I knew I was being a bit greedy with it. I should have waited for this trend line breakdown. I should have waited for the snap. And now I'm going to pay the consequences. Now I'm going to do the Russell. What a recovery. What a recovery. All right. As long as we don't go much farther than this, I should be A-okay. Is the second try going to be, are we going to get smacked here? Remember, this was a key level before. Support. We vomited through it at the 10 a.m. announcement, and now we're back to retesting it. I'm curious is if the previous support is now going to be acting as resistance. We ran right back up to it. A very impressive 30-point recovery in SPX, which is crazy. But that just kind of shows the volatility of the day. I wonder if this is enough of a bounce that now people do actually monetize these calls. When I say 0 DTE calls, I'm talking about the green line, this green candles on the S&P 500, because that is right here. What we're looking at right now is the price of the S&P 500 and then the 0 DTE movement. So you can see at 1017, people were net buyers of calls. Getting into calls, and then there's a little bit of closing on puts. People aren't really closing out their puts. They're kind of holding them as people are more aggressively buying calls. So what I am looking for is not only a rejection at this key level, but I want that to happen as people monetize those calls, as in lock in those profits, because obviously they were able to ride this up a good distance. So if we see a mass monetization, as in them locking in their profits, I'm then looking for this trend line to snap and us to return all the way back down to the scene of the crime down here at 1013. So in my book, this is kind of like a momentary thing, because at a certain point, these zero DTE players are going to have to monetize. I do believe it's more likely that you have these call buyers monetize if this trend line snaps. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm playing off of. Granted, I am down on the play, so it's not that smart of a play at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see if this starts to snap, because really starting at 1013, just higher highs, higher lows, nice trend to the upside. But just to throw a little bit of a turd into the punch bowl here, the call buying has stopped right now, as of now. Of course, it could pick up. I don't know the next trades, but it looks like we have some monetization going on as we're coming up to this trend line. So maybe we bounce off of that, because it's already done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate times to time. This might be time number 6. But let's see. I just got an alert on Meta. What's going on with Meta? Maybe I should spell it properly. Meta actually recovering. Meta's going green. Social media is going, DJT is green and Meta's green. So if you're looking for something showing relative strength today, Meta and DJT might be where it is at. Rumble even trying to recover. So some social media plays kind of bouncing back a little bit here. But just be careful, because we might be seeing a real, we might be coming for a test. I don't know if the test is going to bounce. I don't know if the test is going to break down. I'm just letting you know that we might be coming up on a test, and I'm see how they're starting to monetize these right here. Oh, the other thing that I should double check. The other thing I need to double check. What is this? Hang on. I just wanted to see something about the options flow. I wanted to see something about the options flow on the day, just to share with all of you. Where are we at? Not that decisive. It is favoring the bears. The overall options flow on the day, if you parse apart the calls and the puts, the calls, the average strike being played is dropping throughout the day, and so are the puts, but the puts are more so staying constant right now, while the average strike being played throughout the day on calls is dropping. Well, and as price picks up, look at that. More zero DT calls being bought. So it looks like we do have another wave right here. For the 6th time, it just bounced on that. It wasn't enough monetization for that to break down. So obviously, you kind of get a better idea of, okay, just being able to track this. Puts are being closed. More calls are being bought on the Mag 7 as well. So we are seeing a clear updraft. A clear updraft here. Man, this bounce is more aggressive than I thought it would be. Okay, we have that. All right. I'm setting up these alerts for a potential reversal. And actually, we also need a potential reversal to the upside as well. Let's get all of these alerts set up just so we don't miss any of the action, or especially if I need to do any particular trades. All right. That's all set up. We are good to go. So now let's get over to the tracks. It is time to pick our competitors for Payday Friday. Obviously, show a little bit of love to Vanquish. Goonie 20 does get you 20% off. Are we turning? Not really, but maybe. Eventually, I feel like they have to get exhausted, but these bulls seem to be like David Goggins ever since 1013, just like not quitting here. The Mag 7, look at that. Huge dump, huge rip. And it's the double. It's the double, as in call buying and put closing. So I'd be watching this upsloping trend line, kind of the way we did from pre-market trading. If it keeps riding it, ride it with it for sure. But geez Louise. These are like the David Goggins of options players. Definitely the David Goggins. All right. Anyway, I keep getting distracted. It is time to pick. It is time to pick. It is time to pick. All right. So the first thing we're going to do It is a number between 1 and 150, and we're picking someone off of YouTube first. So the number is going to be between 1 and 150. All you have to do is type it into the chat and hit enter, and the first person to guess it will be representing the red land of YouTube. We are going in 3, 2, 1. All right, we're waiting for guesses. We're waiting. It's between 1 and 150. 1 and 150. 1 and 150. No one's getting it yet. I mean, the better you guys are at guessing. Well, I just got some sort of potential turnaround. Oh, someone got it. Melissa Blasik. Melissa, if you can hear me, please write in the best way to contact you, whether it's your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle. Please comment one of your handles. By the way, the answer was 92. But Melissa, please comment your Twitter handle or your Instagram handle. Give it to Chaos. Give it to the moderator. Tag him in chat. So if you're the winner, we can give you your money. So Melissa, please contact Chaos in chat right now. Best way to get a hold of you. All right. Random number generator. All right. We're going between 10 and 25. 15. It is time to pick our winner off of Rumble. All right, so once again, the random number was 15. 15. We're going off of lemon curd 0. So we're going for the 15th comment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Maddie Q23. All right, so Rumble, your representative is Maddie Q. So Melissa represents YouTube, Maddie Q is representing Rumble, and that means it is time to pick our competitors off of locals. Let's see how many people entered. 115 people figured out how to do it. So let's pick our 3 random people. 82, 29, and 86. All right, so let's go see who those people are. 29, 82, and 86 in order. So there's 25 per page. If you don't believe me, go feel free to count it. So this is number 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Red title. All right. So the bottom of this page is 50. The bottom of this page would be, if it loads, is going to be 75. Come on, load. There we go. This one is 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. Endless. What is it? Endless. Just we'll call you endless. Endless. 82. 83, 84, 85, 86. Pam. Is it Pam or Pan? Pam or Pan? All right. Anyway, we have Melissa from YouTube, Maddie Q from Rumble, Red Title, Endless, and Pam from Locals. Already, congratulations to Red Title, Endless, and Pam for winning a Vanquish account. Sign up on Vanquish. You have to have a registered account so they can give you a free prop account. Once again, Red Title, Endless, and Pam, sign up on Vanquish. And then let's get ready to let's go over to the race here. Oh, we are starting to turn a little bit. Am I still in my position? I am still. I'm down 500, but maybe it's going to go my way. Let's find out. All right, race. Add names. All right. Competitor number 1, Melissa. Competitor number 2, Maddie Q. Competitor number 3, Red Title. Competitor number 4, Endless, and number 5, Pam. All right. Finish. We're going to pick a random track to make it fair. Looks like we're at Marble Diner. We have these 5 racers. All right. All right. Hang on. Let's make sure we are ready for this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is a Payday Friday, which means we are going to get the absolute pleasure of seeing 5 of the fastest marble racers known to mankind. Representing the Redlands of YouTube, we have Melissa. Representing the green planet of Rumble, we have Maddie Q. And representing the kind of black, but also like it's like kind of like a light pink, and I think there's some white in their coloring, we have locals represented by Red Title, Endless, and Pam. Folks, if you've been watching this series, you know that there's a lot of gore, there's a lot of casualty, there's a lot of lives lost. To be completely honest with all of you, I don't have the insurance to cover all the lives lost in these races. It's actually becoming a big issue, and I do think that my insurance is going to be dropping me. They're like literally weekly, there's a lot of deaths, and it just is how it is. So my point in that is not only is this financially destroying me, but these racers are putting their lives on the line. They are not just going for a trophy, cold hard cash, and bragging rights. They're doing it to do a thing that other people have lost their lives at. So when I ask you to please stand, give these racers a round of applause, please understand what they're all about to be entering into. And with that being said, racers, start your engines, because we are going in 3, 2, 1. And we are off. And we are getting a quick drop. It looks like Maddie Q and Red Title are really going for it out of the gate. Who's going to get the first drop? It is Red Title barely beating out Maddie Q, followed by Melissa, followed by Endless, followed by Pam. We have Maddie Q taking the left, right, but getting caught, and Red Title caught in the same place, but has more momentum going into it. Right now, it seems to be a race for second between Red Title and Maddie Q, but followed by Pam. All right, how is this going? We are officially in the diner. Maddie Q catching one of the speed ups and getting slightly ahead of Red Title, followed by Pam, followed by Melissa, and Endless has forgotten that this is in fact a race and not just a time to sit on your couch, but it is what it is. Maddie Q showing the other marbles how it's done, all taking a hard beating off of that left wall. But we do have Pam running all the way up into second, and it looks like some people are getting the cheeseburger and hamburger speed ups, folks. I didn't know they were this early in the race, and Pam and Melissa have caught those hamburger speed ups. And now we are running down the stairs. My favorite thing to do after eating a heavy meal is just getting jostled around on a staircase. I know it's my favorite pastime. It's probably yours as well. And then we're just jumping up and down. Nothing to do, like a super normal way to behave after eating at a diner. And Melissa comes out of the shaker first. Melissa is currently leading the race, followed by Pam, followed by Maddie Q, followed by Red Title. Once again, Endless has forgot that this is a race, but we have seen crazier comes back. And now we are going through Snake Alley. Melissa showing the other racers how it's done, but it is close. This is a close competition. It is truly anyone's race. Melissa, oh, what just happened? Melissa takes the right path. Pam and Maddie Q take the left path, and we are on 2 different trajectories at this point. Pam and Maddie Q seemingly taking a more complex maze route, as Melissa is going straight into some elevator and somehow skips ahead and wins. Melissa taking the path less traveled and winning the race. Second place, Red Title. Third place is Pam. You gonna make it or you suck? No, Pam. Endless comes out of nowhere. Endless, where were you this entire time? Endless making a valiant effort at the end, taking advantage of some missteps by both Maddie Q and by Pam. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Pam, you ever gonna be joining us, hun? What you doing over there, Pam? There we go. No casualties. That's honestly a win in itself. I'm gonna be honest with all of you. That's a win in itself that no lives were lost. But congratulations to Melissa. Congratulations to the Red Land of YouTube. Melissa, you are the victor. I will be sending you that money later on. Melissa, Chaos needs your tags. He's talking to you in chat right now. Melissa, give Chaos the best way to get a hold of you because I need to send you the money on PayPal today. So, Melissa, you got to send him your Twitter handle. You got to send him your Instagram handle. Some way to get, even your Gmail, just some way to get a hold of you. If you don't send it to him, we're going to have to just double up the win for next week or something like that. But please reach out. Chaos is trying to get a hold of you in chat. Please get a hold of him in chat. If not, if we don't hear from you, we'll just be doubling up the race for next week. But obviously, congratulations to everyone who competed. Special congratulations to Melissa. Congratulations to Red Title, Endless, and Pam for winning a Vanquish account. And I'm just happy that I don't have to tell the insurance company that we had more lives lost. But this stuff's always a blast to do. Always fun to see who the fastest marble really is. And with that being said, where are we with everything? Obviously, finally, don't forget, I'm actively trading on Vanquish right now, but today's the last day of the Goonie20 code, 20% off if you use GOONIE20. This ends at midnight tonight, so you could get, that can be applied to any of these accounts, and also for stocks or options. Obviously, I know more of you are options traders, but right now you can get these for you could get 20 bucks off. That's a pretty solid deal, especially on that 10K account. So just an interesting way to risk someone else's money and not your own. Obviously, I am a big fan as I'm actively trading on it right now. And where we are, we did get that breakdown right there. The trend line, see it snapped, came up, retested. Now the interesting level is right here at 5840. So a little bit of a market structure shift. You see how we had higher highs, higher lows, and it was just being walked up from about 1014, and then things kind of broke down at about 1042. So there was about 30-ish minutes of bullishness, and I haven't seen it. Obviously, I was watching the race with all of you guys, but I have a feeling, yep, look at that, monetization. You have these puts being closed out. So they started to get closed out right there at 1042. Then there was another round of buying. And then once again at 1050, going into the new hour, you have more calls being sold. As in these call buyers, they're locking in their profits. When they open up calls, when you buy calls, you're adding positive delta to the system, which pushes the underlying up. But as soon as you monetize it, you're taking deltas out of the system, pushing the underlying down. Now, as that's happening, you're also having people buy puts. When you buy puts, that's adding negative deltas tantamount to removing deltas. So really what you could see here is starting at 1050, we had a reversal from 1014 up to 1050. Positive delta was pushing the system up. And now we're seeing the inverse, and you could see it on the screen, how quickly that is undone to the point that I'm in the green, but I haven't locked it in yet. 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 Why can't I make this smaller? I'm up 5. I was trying to zoom in. Can I? Oh, there we go. I think you guys can see that better now. How much I hope you guys can see that better, or you're as blind as I am. Which, hey, that's no hate, but I'm up 650, 600. I am going for, I believe, 1,000 on this one. Come on, 650, 625, 675. So I've already realized 1.6K, and then obviously this is my unrealized, kind of playing this breakdown right here as I articulate. This took way longer than I expected it to, but I still think the fact that we snapped 5845, there's still, I believe, a high likelihood that we test somewhere in here today. That's not a guarantee. I just think I like the probability for that particular play. And come on, give me my money, dude. Give me my money. Give me my money. Hey, give me, well, are we bouncing or something? I'm in the green, but this is being a little bit sticky, a little bit stickier than I wanted it to be. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. I like to keep the charts nice and clean so I can see what in the world I need to see. Kind of finding support at this 1028 dip. It looks like we had a bit of the market right there as we were up and up and up and away. It was the first real red bar, then it was dancing around for a bit. So finding a bit of support right there. This might be setting itself up that if it bounces and tilts back over, we go from higher highs. Right here, you could see it by the green arrows. Those are just the relative highs, and higher lows. Those are the red arrows. If we start to tilt back down, we go from higher highs and higher lows to, surprise, surprise, a market structure shift denoted by lower highs and lower lows, which obviously increases the likelihood of coming back and testing the intraday low at 5813.62. Obviously, I'm looking at SPX, but the exact same thing is going on SPY because they're pretty much the same product. Remember, the OF level, like the oh shit ripcord level, is 580.50 on the SPY. On the Qs, it is 505.75. And on the Russell, we kind of snapped an important one at 218, and the next upcoming one is more like 215, maybe 214.50, really, for the major indices. You have Bitcoin struggling at the 50-day EMA right here, which is about $94,000 and change, so got smacked there by about $500. Tesla, I'm at the point of watching the intraday high and low. I do currently have some Tesla puts. NVIDIA really got smacked hard off the new all-time high. The last 3 days, lower highs, lower lows, not so good. Palantir being walked down. MicroStrategy. Oh. Okay, even the Qs are starting to snap now. Yeah, this was a push to the upside, but as I said, I'm not chasing things to the upside because by every single way I look at the market, everything was still bearish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour. I saw no real reason to be bearish. Granted, if we pushed harder, yeah, I might eventually be convinced, but we had to push pretty hard based on the size of the sell-off this morning, not only in pre-market at 8:30, but then again, all the way up to about 10:15. Right now, looking on the 3-minute chart, which is in the top left and bottom left of your screen, I think now the big question is what's the next low? Because we went from like A, B, C right here. So start of the day was A, 10:15 was B, C. So we have the A, B, C. The D in this is going to be important. The D is always important. But in this scenario, is the D above 579.15 at 579.15, or is it below 579? So basically, the next pivot level is going to be very telling of who's control in the short term. So that's exactly what I'm watching. Obviously, A, B, C. The fact that C is below, that's kind of bearish. But if this is D, like right here, if the fourth pivot point is just right here and we have a higher low and then we take out 583, okay, yeah, now maybe in the short term, the bulls are in control. However, if the D drops all the way down to 579.15, or on the Qs, that would be equivalent to 504. Well, that's a clear bearish setup of A, B, C, D, where it's just lower highs, lower lows. So I would personally, for me, I mean, obviously I'm making some trades right now, but in terms of like my medium term swing trades, I would be waiting to see how that one like really plays out. Let me do this. All right. We're seeing options still continue to tilt ever since 1050. We're seeing options tilt ever since 1050. We've been very clear about that. I told you my bear thesis. I told you I wasn't chasing it. And this is exactly why, because remember the whole concept of elevator up, stairs down. When things tilt, they tend to tilt very hard. So I'm looking, I mean, like what I find really concerning here is the fact that the SPY punctured 580.50. The Q's punctured, what is this, 505.75, and the Russell is still below 218. The Russell is uniquely weak. The Russell's down 2%. The Q's are down 1.6. The SPY's down 1.4. This is a bad day. The question is just how bad is the bad going to be? Have we seen the worst of it? Was 10:15 this morning the worst of it? Or is there going to be like an entire afternoon vomit? As of now, I think it's very silly to be like, oh, no, I know this is going to happen. All you have to do is play the recent highs and the recent lows, play the trend, play the options flow, play the price action. All you have to do is be reactive to those developments. You should not be predictive. Don't try to predict, are we going up from here? Are we going down from there? Just let the price action tell you. Be like, yep, nope, we are setting up with breakdowns to go lower. Nope, we're setting up with the recovery to go higher. Just react to the price action. Don't just sit there and be like, I'm guessing at this point. Like you're going to be right half the time. You're going to be wrong half the time. But because of the asymmetric nature of being long premium, like buying calls or buying puts, you're going to end up as a net loser in the long run. So I just want to clarify that with all of you. And obviously, if you want to have more discussion, more insights, all that good stuff, here, I will pin it to the top of chat right now. But obviously, don't forget to sign up for the Discord. Your first month's free. No harm, no foul. Check it out. I highly recommend it. Obviously, I recommend it. It's my Discord. But even ask the other people in the Discord. I think they're going to tell you that they really enjoy what's going on in there. And you can test it out for yourself. I just pinned it to the top of chat. No harm, no foul. Test it out for a month right here. Just use this promo code Goonie, Goonie. Your first month is free. Test everything out. You get access to the Piper signal. You get access to this, that, the other thing. You get access to everything. If you like it, great. Stick around. If it's not for you, just cancel your account within the first month and you're never going to be billed, so it never costs you anything anyway. And with that being said, speaking of Piper literally just fired. Literally just fired. How weird is that? What's the deal with that? I should be a host. Like a game show host. That is what I'm aspiring to do in my life. That is what I am aspiring to do in my life. All right. If you are in the Discord, I believe I typed it all properly. It is in there. It is in there. And then I haven't done my own Piper trade, and I don't know why that is. It's because I'm slow to react today. I am slow to react. This isn't right. Why? Dude, Weeble is not updating anything for me right now. I'm trying to get what is going on, dude? Come on. Let the kids play. Oh, actually, it is pointless for me to trade today because we are literally too far away. So never mind. That's not going to happen. All right. Market looks like shit. I hope you're playing the position accordingly. I hope you're making a bunch of money. I hope to see you in the Discord. Show Vanquish a bit of love. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. If not, have a bunch of fun. Make it worth it. If you're going to be a degenerate, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That really does help me. That's the only major thing I'm actually going to ask of you is please like, please subscribe, please turn on your notifications. Don't forget to do it on both YouTube and on Rumble. Much love. Thanks for the good vibes. If you run into Timmy Rodriguez, especially if he moved to Texas near the year 2000-ish, maybe 2001. If he liked SpaghettiOs, if he liked ice cream, if he had a honky of a friend when he was growing up in Northeast PA, tell him I'm looking for him and let him know I've never forgotten. So that's what I have for you all. I love you all. I'll catch you later. I hope you crush it. Peace.